okay when they come to school. They don't feel safe when they are in school. They feel their emotions are not being able to address. My education taught me how to solve equations, but my education didn't tell me how to manage my emotions, how to take care of myself, and even on a bad day, I can take my bag and go to work, and what is the thing that can make me feel good? So, just a thing, and just a small note that I wanted to share, and then I would just wrap it up. We can't build future for our young kids, but we can prepare our young kids for the future. It's not my statement, it's by Franklin D. Roosevelt. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The presentation really transformed the meeting into a highly productive one. Many thanks to you for that. The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. The national education policy envisions an education system rooted in Indian ethos that contributes directly to transforming India, that is Bharat, sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high-quality education to all, and thereby making India a global knowledge superpower. The policy envisages that the curriculum and pedagogy of our institutions must develop among the students a deep sense of respect towards the fundamental duties and constitutional values, bonding with one's country, and a conscious awareness of one's roles and responsibilities in a changing world. Our next dignitary hardly needs any introduction. It is my privilege to invite on stage Ms. Shashi Bhatla, Director, Mukand Schools, known for her wonderful administration. And the topic for discussion today is Career Perspectives Customization in Curriculum. Please welcome her with a huge round of applause.
Respected Pandit Gyan Prakash ji, Director JMIT Dr. S.K. Garg, Dr. JMIETI Pandit Gyan Prakash ji, the most respected, renowned principals of the districts of Kurukshetra, Karnal, Yamunanagar and Ghaziabad, dear faculty members of this and ETI Technical Institute, I thank Dr. S.K. Garg for giving me the opportunity to stand here and present before you the assignment which he has given, Career Perspective Customization in Curriculum. Curriculum, the syllabi, the courses. I remember whatever I studied when I was in school and then in college, and after that joined as a teacher, was exactly same. And amazingly, when I took over as a head, the change didn't occur at all. The first change which I felt was in 1989, the first computer machine was introduced, and I saw it for the first time in October 89. We were all astonished what instrument has come and is lying there, and they say it's going to do many tasks. we had heard and seen on TV, but for the first time we saw in '89. Then with passage of time, we started working on it, calculating and preparing the school results or small office tasks. And after that, this subject was introduced as an elective subject in class 11th and 12th. Then second change came in 1992, when the English language and literature was changed into communicative English. I want to say that the pace of change was very slow, as the national education policies, the first one being in 1968, and then after 18 years in '86, and third in '92, and the fourth after 28 years in 2020. Who had thought that during the pandemic lockdowns, we all will be reaching homes, learning and teaching will take place through online classes, maybe the Google Meet, the Microsoft Teams or Zoom. But the classes continued. So due to this advancement in technology at a very high rate, the prospective careers have changed. The career perspective customization in curriculum, it involves aligning of the academic programs with courses, practical experiences, and the careers. Let us have a look at the process of the various career perspective customizations. First of all, an individual has to select a desired career path. For selection of a career path, complete confidence is needed, the clarity of mind is required, which at this stage, I think our children, they have encouraged them to take up the research so that they can find out what specific skills are to be developed, knowledge and qualifications required, which is essential, may be attained. And at the same time, the industry trends have to be understood, job roles have to be, that career has to be taken care of, and what expectations I have for myself is also to be considered. So here I would like to give an example of one of the students, Mr. Vishal Sharma. When I was giving him roll number for the board examination of class 10th, I asked him, what are you going to opt in +1? The answer was, ma'am, I want to become a scientist. I'm going to take non-medical, physics, chemistry, maths. I said, not biology? No. Since I want to become a scientist, I'll appear for the competition of NISER. He knew about that. I said, no JEE. No, ma'am, I don't want to become an engineer. And I want to finally settle down at NASA as a scientist. And I'm glad to say that he is a scientist at NASA at present. So that clarity of mind, it is only the teacher who can create among the students. And then the second career path is decided. What subjects have got to be selected in the programs available. Now that clarity, that what program, academic program is there in my school or is there in my board or university, and then accordingly you have to select, the student has to select, taking care that he has to choose a subject or an institute which provides hands-on experience as well. And then the third step for this is to be to select electives and specializations. There are number of subjects available now according to NEP. The compulsory ones we all know, language, and then for non-medical we all know physics, chemistry, biology, maths or biology for sciences and so on. But here the clarity is required that which electives are to be selected and those electives which are in alignment with my career goals. Then only one should go ahead with specialization. NEP provides flexibility. There are number of subjects. I was going through some papers which spoke that for few engineering courses, now chemistry is not needed. Only physics, maths will suffice. You have a language, physics, maths, and you can go for engineering. And if you don't have maths, you have chemistry, maths has to be there, but no chemistry, English, physics, maths, and biology. Even then you can go for engineering. So because of this flexibility in the selection of elective subjects, there are number of opportunities available with the children. It is up to us, the teachers, who have to bring this information to them. And side by side, selection of specialization, that where you want to land in your career, that specialization is to be selected. Here I would like to quote one example. I know a boy who did BTech in civil engineering, then he did post-graduation in contract management. But since he had interest in law, then he had gone for his specialization, MS in construction law and dispute resolution from Oxford University. That means the proper steps, the proper ladder, you can rise and achieve your goal. And fourth step is practical experience. The practical experience are a must. When a student selects the stream, has to take into consideration that what are the internship opportunities available, cooperative available. Because all these activities, they provide real world experiences, exposure and networking with the professionals. And networking with professionals gives you guidance and a chance to apply your knowledge and test your theoretical knowledge that what skills have been attained. The other day, I was told by my son that in India, there is only one company which is giving a proper internship. Siemens, they adopt 40 to 50 students, the pass outs of ITI in Mumbai, they adopt them ready so that they can get the jobs easily. So this is really amazing. Whereas others industries and the corporate world has got to come forward about it. Then ITI is after 10th and plus 2 years of diploma. My opinion is all those schools who have got +1 and +2 and are giving vocational subjects, the schools should be given this authority to give them certificate of the technical knowledge so that they are job ready. And then comes a very important aspect, capstone projects. Capstone project is a project, it's a group project, research project actually, when a team of members, sorry, it's a group research project which has to be completed in a stipulated time, where the students they showcase their practical skills acquired during the course. They face they face the industry problems, the real challenges, and if by chance that group fails in their project, they are given another chance. And then if they fail in another chance, then they are not thrown away. Like in India, you are failing, no chance, no mercy chance. There, the assessment is different in foreign countries. These children are assessed on the basis of the process, the procedures adopted, the solutions given for the various problems, and are awarded their points equally as the successful students. The other day, one of my colleagues, she's also present here, her son Kanav, he has come to South Africa for the project, the capstone project. When I met him and I asked in detail, he was so happy and contented that whatever we learn in the classroom, when we get that opportunity to apply in practice, that experience gives, that satisfaction and the confidence to excel in any of the company or in any of the project further. This happens only in foreign universities, and if it occurs in India, I don't know much about the college projects, but if it is happening in India, they only allow to the engineering students or management students. Nobody bothers. Do you think they'll allow the school students to go for such projects? I don't think so. In other countries, when a child attains the age of 14 years, is free to work, rather is made to work and earn his pocket money himself. Ma'am, I'm a student of +1 in the Auckland Grammar School. And I was I'm amazed, astonished. A class 11 student selling shoes. They don't mind it. They take pride in it. On all the McDonald's outlets, the students are there who are working extra, the residents of that particular country, because their parents, they make them work. And the respect of the work of 5 fingers, they may understand what it means to them. Then the 6th step is to develop the next step. Next, develop basic skills. These basic skills are actually transferable, can be applied to any career. These skills give confidence and X factor to one's personality. The first one is communication skill. We all know about it. Communication skill is presenting your thoughts, your expressions, feelings, the new ideas in very simple words, in a polite manner, with the right kind of modulation. And if the communication skill is strong, then there is no looking back. Second being teamwork. Teamwork is the ability to take along all the members of the team and share the opportunity equally. To work in collaboration so that you become a team player, a sharing and caring person. And thirdly, it is problem solving. Problem solving is also a skill. It's an ability to use the systematic approach to break down difficult problems into smaller, easily manageable parts. And the 4th one is adaptability. And the best example was in pandemic days, COVID-19. We, all the teachers, sharing it with students, the millions of the educators, students, the service providers, they immediately adapt it to the circumstances. So similarly, in every career, the ability to learn new skills as per the circumstances is important. And then comes to human connection, which was being talked by Anika. Consult your advisors, stay connected to your mentors, guides, professionals, and one should never hesitate, maybe in any career, never hesitate in seeking advice from seniors, consultants, and advisors, because all of them, they are experienced ones. They give you in-depth insight of the courses which you are going through, or which you want to go through, of the challenges which you are going to face during your course period, and then they also add up to your experiences and the strategies for achieving the careers. Next is portfolio, build a portfolio. Portfolio, a powerful tool which showcases, which shows your essential qualifications, the progress you made from one step to the other step, the practical experiences, the projects undertaken, and finally where you land. I'm very happy, and you all know the principles, that CBSE has already made it obligatory to prepare portfolio right from class 6 onwards. And then finally, whatever Manisha was saying is really true. In every career, one has to jump into artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the technology that has brought drastic changes in every sphere of our life. Thank you. I'm so sorry. The rightful insight into artificial intelligence, the rightful information of various apps, various websites that helps and enhances the skills of your job, strengthens your career opportunities. The other day, I was watching one video which was shared by, I think, in principals groups. Many of you must have seen that. Prime Minister Museum video. The Jawaharlal Nehru, the Nehru Museum in Delhi has been converted into Prime Minister Museum. And that in that video I saw a robot holding a pen and giving autographs of your favorite Prime Minister, right from the first one to the last one, that is right from Nehru ji to our present Prime Minister, Shri Modi ji. Amazing, isn't it? Getting the autographs from AI. Though AI has created millions of jobs for all of us, the number of careers are there. But what is going to happen next? And Manisha explained in detail how AI can help the teachers. Very happy. And then though she said that AI cannot take the place of a teacher, of course, the teacher's presence in the class means a lot. But what will happen to the writers? You give a word and a topic that please write a poem. I am so sad, give me some pep-up poem. Within 2 seconds, you will get the poem through ChatGPT, the generative artificial intelligence. Then you say, I know a girl who is very pretty, moti moti aankhein, pretty smile, fair in color, that hairstyle you can describe, I want the picture. Within few seconds, picture will be created. That means the jobs of so many spheres, so many fields, we are going to lose. Maybe the job of a writer, the film director even, the designing of a set. The other day I saw one video where the model is reading, and the robot is reading the news. So news readers, and ultimately even the doctor can lose a job. They will lose. What we do, we go to a doctor, we describe our problem, the symptoms, and doctor then in turn writes the prescription. This is what you try with ChatGPT. You describe your symptoms, and in a second, ChatGPT will suggest you the medicine. And to the extent ChatGPT, it was launched in November 22, has cleared LLB examination. So to that extent, artificial intelligence has come into our lives. That means thousands, millions and millions of jobs we are going to lose. What will be there remaining for us? The jobs of hands. Because bots cannot do more than 6% of work. All those jobs which are being done by electricians, plumbers, gardeners, nurses, caretakers will be valued, and this is what is happening in developed countries. They charge $150 for the task of 1 hour, and this is the salary of an engineer for 8 hours. So because of all this, I feel and I think, what will be the jobs? We are saying that, career perspective, customization in curriculum. What kind of careers will be there? Can you imagine what will happen after 10 or 15 years? And during all these 3 years, in 2021, 2, 3, if you go to the bank, you will find just 5 or 6 workers, officers there, occupying the seats, and the banks are barren. The jobs have been lost because of the automatic teller machines, because of the computers. One clerk is sufficient to store the data. Those 4 or 5 jobs have been lost. Against 4 or 5 persons, only 1 person is there. So this gives worry that even the National Education Policy 2020, very comprehensive document, explains in detail various aspects, but it was launched in 2020, not in 2022 or 23. Within this span of 10 months, it has been now outdated. But for few characters, the National Education Policy can also not guide us what subjects, what kind of curriculum we should have for our schools. What type of jobs will be there after 10 or 15 years for our new entrants. Yes, human values, very important, will remain always. So now is the time when we all, the educationists, the technical experts, and the people at the helm of affairs will have to sit together and then brainstorm again that what kind of curriculum we should work upon for the coming generations. Thank you. Thank you very much for helping me out. Carry my work.
Ma'am, a million sincere thanks to you for the sea of wisdom and knowledge you showered us with during your amazing lecture. The value of artificial intelligence and chatbots like ChatGPT in the classroom cannot be overstated. They have the potential to improve learning outcomes while also improving the learning experience. By incorporating chatbots like ChatGPT into the education system, we can provide students with a more personalized and engaging learning experience. Dear attenders, you all are requested to kindly fill out the feedback form which is available with you in the provided kit, and please submit the form on the registration counter while leaving, and also collect your certificates from there. Thank you. Next, we look forward to the presence of Mr. Manish Gupta, alumnus CEO G Cube, on the stage, and topic of his discussion today is Artificial Intelligence in School Education.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. 3-4 सेशंस हो चुके हैं. It has been lengthy. लंच का टाइम भी हो गया, so I'll keep it brief. First of all, thank you Dr. Garg and Dr. Jaya for inviting me. I am a 2000 batch pass out from JMIT. मैंने फाइनल ईयर ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग में ही अपनी सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनी JMIT से ही शुरू कर दी थी, and it became very successful. We ended up having about 400 people. And I sold that company off in 2021 to a US based company, and then I started another one in 2022. हम लोग अब healthcare space में है. तो first of all तो thank you to all of you for joining in. मुझसे बोला गया कि मैं AI in school education और उसके ऊपर corporate context में आपके साथ बात करूं कि corporate world में क्या हो रहा है AI के ऊपर. तो मानसी माइक्रोसॉफ्ट उसने AI के बारे में आप लोगों को बताया, तो मैं टेक्निकल डाइव इन नहीं करूँगा. आई विल जस्ट वेरी ब्रीफली मेंशन कि AI है क्या. AI ये है कि जो हम लोग डिसीजंस लेते हैं, कंप्यूटर अगर वैसे डिसीजंस ले पाए, दैट इज़ एसेंशियली AI. हम लोग डेटा को इंटरप्रेट करते हैं, हम लोग पैटर्न्स देखते हैं, हम लोग वेरिएबल्स को स्टडी करते हैं और उसके बेसिस पे हम डिसीजंस लेते हैं. कंप्यूटर्स जब वो डिसीजंस लेने लग जाए कुछ कुछ चीज़ों के लिए, दैट एसेंशियली इज़ AI. एक इंटरेस्टिंग एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं. माइक्रोसॉफ्ट पावर पॉइंट, आई एम श्योर हम में से ऑलमोस्ट सभी लोगों ने यूज़ किया होगा या फिर यूज़ होते हुए देखा होगा. हम प्रेजेंटेशंस बनाते हैं उसमें. आज तक माइक्रोसॉफ्ट पावर पॉइंट एक डम टूल रहा है. हम लोग उसको एसेंशियली यूज़ करते हैं, उसमें इमेजेस डालते हैं, टेक्स्ट डालते हैं, बैकग्राउंड इमेज डालते हैं और फिर हम आके उसको यहाँ पर प्रेजेंट करते हैं. इट हैज़ बीन अ डम टूल सो फार, बट ए वेरी प्रोडक्टिव टूल. वरना हम पहले पेपर पर प्रेजेंटेशन देते थे, स्लाइड्स पर प्रेजेंटेशन देते थे. अब सोचिए कि अगर माइक्रोसॉफ्ट कोड लिखे प्रेजेंटेशन अपने टूल के अंदर, और लेट्स से दुनिया भर में कोई भी लोग एक टॉपिक के ऊपर प्रेजेंटेशन बना रहे हैं और माइक्रोसॉफ्ट उसको स्टडी करना शुरू कर दे कि अच्छा क्या कंटेंट लिखा जा रहा है, क्या इमेजेस उसके अंदर डाली जा रही हैं, क्या तरीके का बैकग्राउंड डाला जा रहा है, और वो पूरी दुनिया में इन प्रेजेंटेशंस को ऑब्जर्व करना शुरू कर दे, तो इवेंचुअली इट विल हैव लॉट ऑफ डेटा कि अच्छा क्या कंटेंट जा रहा है, क्या इमेजेस यूज हो रही हैं एंड सो ऑन. और मान लीजिए ये सारी की सारी प्रेजेंटेशन स्लाइड शेयर पर या किसी एक प्लेटफॉर्म पर भी डलनी शुरू हो जाती है और वहां पर हम जैसे लोग उनको रेटिंग करना शुरू कर देते हैं. अच्छा हमें ये स्लाइड अच्छी लग रही है, हमें ये प्रेजेंटेशन अच्छी लग रही है. सो अब माइक्रोसॉफ्ट को पता है कि कंटेंट क्या जा रहा है, इमेजेस क्या जा रही हैं और क्या लोगों को पसंद आ रहा है. अगली बार जब मैं वो प्रेजेंटेशन बनाऊंगा तो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट अब मुझे सजेशन दे सकता है कि ये अगर आप इस टॉपिक के ऊपर लिख रहे हैं तो ये तो 10 सब टॉपिक्स आपको कवर करने चाहिए, उसके अंदर आपको ये 5 पॉइंट्स लिखने चाहिए, इस तरीके की आपको इमेज इस्तेमाल करनी चाहिए. जब माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ये इंटेलिजेंस अपने पावर पॉइंट टूल में डाल देगा तो ये आर्टिफिशियली इंटेलिजेंट पावर पॉइंट टूल हो जाएगा. दैट इज एसेंशियली व्हाट आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इज. डेटा पैटर्न्स इनको स्टडी करो, उससे इन्फरेंस निकालो, और अगर सेम चीज दोबारा हो रही है तो आप उसको सजेशंस वगैरह दे सकते हैं. जो मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दिया है ये ना कोई फ्यूचर में होने वाली चीज नहीं है, ये ऑलरेडी हो रही है. माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ऑलरेडी ये टूल अपने पावर पॉइंट के अंदर इंटीग्रेट कर रहा है. सो दिस इज ऑलरेडी हैपनिंग. ये तो हुई माइक्रोसॉफ्ट की बात. हम लोग अपनी आम तरह की जिंदगी में भी बहुत AI यूज करना शुरू हो गए हैं. गूगल मैप्स आई एम श्योर हम सब ने इस्तेमाल किया है. गूगल मैप्स हमें कहाँ पर कितना, और आई एम श्योर कि अब पहले हम इंडिया में काफ़ी कॉमन था ये कि सड़क पे खड़े होकर रास्ता पूछने वाली बात कि हाँ भाई कहाँ जाना है, यहाँ पे आगे कहाँ जाएं, सो ऑन। मैंने तो एटलीस्ट बंद कर दिया, और आई एम श्योर हम में से बहुत लोगों ने वो लोगों को पूछना अब बंद कर दिया है। अब गूगल जहां ले जाता है हम वहां चुपचाप चले जाते हैं। ये भी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस है, खूब सारा डेटा, हम लोगों का डेटा इकट्ठा हो रहा है और गूगल उससे सही रास्ता हमें रास्ता बता रहा है, कई बार गलत भी होता है। सो दैट्स अ नेगेटिव साइड ऑफ एआई एज वेल। सो गूगल मैप्स हुआ, एलेक्सा, सीरी, गूगल असिस्टेंट हुआ, नेटफ्लिक्स हम लोग देखते हैं, नेटफ्लिक्स के ऊपर रिकमेंडेशंस हुए, अमेजॉन के ऊपर रिकमेंडेशंस हुए। ये सारे के सारे एग्जांपल्स बड़ी कंपनीज कि चलो ठीक है यूएस में बैठ के गूगल, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, अमेजॉन वगैरह ये सब कुछ कर रहे हैं। इंडिया में भी कुछ हो रहा है क्या इसके बारे में? तो मैं आपको अपना एग्जांपल दे सकता हूं। मैं G-Cube का एग्जांपल, जो मैंने कंपनी आपको बताया कि मैंने ईयर 2000 में यहाँ JMIT से फॉर्म की, हम लोग कॉर्पोरेट ई लर्निंग में थे, आप लोग स्कूल एजुकेशन, हायर एजुकेशन में हैं, हम लोग कॉर्पोरेट लर्निंग में थे। हम लोग बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज के लिए सॉफ्टवेयर बनाते हैं और उन लोगों के लिए ट्रेनिंग कोर्सेज बनाते हैं G-Cube के अंदर। तो ICICI और कोटक बैंक वगैरह, मतलब बैंक्स, मारुति, वॉल्वो, मर्सिडीज वगैरह हमारे कस्टमर हैं। तो ICICI के लिए हमने क्या प्रोजेक्ट किया, उनके बैंक्स होते हैं और बैंक्स में ये लोग बैठ के, इनके जो सेल्स रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होते हैं, ये हम लोगों को म्यूचुअल फंड बेचते हैं, कार्ड्स, क्रेडिट कार्ड्स वगैरह, कुछ भी ये सब कुछ हमें होम लोन्स वगैरह बेचने की कोशिश करते हैं। उनका क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव था कि हम इन लोगों की परफॉर्मेंस को स्टडी करें, और ये सारा का सारा डेटा CRM के अंदर, सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर जाता है कि आज आपने कितनी कॉल्स ली, कॉल्स में से कितने लोग कन्वर्ट हुए, क्या चीज़ बेची, कितने की बेची, एंड सो ऑन। और हर चीज़ को बेचने के लिए एक स्किल चाहिए, आपको प्रोडक्ट की नॉलेज होनी चाहिए, आपको कस्टमर कम्युनिकेशन स्किल आना चाहिए, एंड सो ऑन। सो देयर आर वेरियस स्किल्स यू नीड फॉर डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ कोर्सेज। तो हमने आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंट टूल बनाया जो कि हर इंडिविजुअल की परफॉर्मेंस को स्टडी करना शुरू हो गया, कितनी कॉल्स की, उस कॉल्स में से कितने प्रपोजल्स गए, प्रपोजल्स में से कितने कन्वर्ट हुए, और बेस्ट लोगों के साथ कंपेयर करना शुरू हो गया विद एन ICICI। अब अगर मेरी परफॉर्मेंस लो है तो क्या स्किल ऐसा था जिसकी वजह से मेरी परफॉर्मेंस लो थी? क्या मेरा कम्युनिकेशन स्किल ठीक नहीं था? क्या मेरा प्रपोजल मेकिंग स्किल ठीक नहीं था? क्या मेरा नेगोशिएशन स्किल ठीक नहीं था? क्योंकि सेल्स की डिफरेंट साइकिल होती है। तो हमने वो सारा का सारा स्टडी करना शुरू किया और डेटा इकट्ठा होना शुरू हो गया। अब डेटा इकट्ठा होना शुरू हो गया तो लोग आइडेंटिफाई होना शुरू हो गए कि अच्छा, इस आदमी की कम्युनिकेशन स्किल वीक है, उस आदमी का प्रपोजल मेकिंग स्किल वीक है। जब ये स्किल्स और स्किल गैप्स आइडेंटिफाई होने शुरू हो गए तो उनको कोर्सेज, ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज ऑफर होने शुरू हो गए कि ठीक है बेटा, तुम्हारा कम्युनिकेशन स्किल वीक है, तुम्हारा नेगोशिएशन स्किल वीक है, लो ये आधे घंटे का कोर्स पढ़ो, ये 1 घंटे का कोर्स पढ़ो, ये 2 घंटे का कोर्स पढ़ो और टेस्ट दो। लोगों ने कोर्स पढ़ने शुरू किए, टेस्ट देने शुरू किए, और फिर टेस्ट कोर्स पढ़ने के बाद दोबारा से ऑब्जर्व किया गया कि अगर आपकी परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव हुई है कि नहीं इंप्रूव हुई है। इंप्रूव हुई तो बहुत अच्छी बात, नहीं तो सेकंड लेवल इंटरवेंशन होगा, एडवांस कोर्स दिया जाएगा, एंड सो ऑन। सो ये काम हम लोगों ने मतलब, एंड दिस इज व्हाट आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इज। डेटा को एनालाइज किया जा रहा है और रियल टाइम सजेशंस दिए जा रहे हैं, परफॉर्मेंस को ऑब्जर्व किया जा रहा है, एंड अगर परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव नहीं हो रही है तो नेक्स्ट लेवल इंटरवेंशंस दिए जा रहे हैं। सो दिस इज वन एग्जांपल, और ये आज नहीं, हमने आज से 3 साल पहले इंप्लीमेंट किया, और ये अब और स्केल पर इंडिया में, इंडिया के बाहर भी इंप्लीमेंट हो रहा है। दूसरा एग्जांपल जो मैं आपको अपना खुद का दे सकता हूं, जो अब हमारा लेटेस्ट स्टार्टअप है हीलिक। हम लोग मल्टी स्पेशलिटी क्लिनिक्स एंड हॉस्पिटल्स बना रहे हैं इंडिया भर में। रेडियोलॉजी, अल्ट्रासाउंड, आप में से बहुत सारी फीमेल्स हैं, बाकी लोग मैरिड ही लग रहे हो तो बच्चे भी होंगे, तो अल्ट्रासाउंड वगैरह हमने करवाया है। अल्ट्रासाउंड, रेडियोलॉजिस्ट अल्ट्रासाउंड करती हैं, गायनोकोलॉजिस्ट अल्ट्रासाउंड, लीवर का साइज क्या है, उसमें लीजन है कि नहीं है, फैटी लीवर तो नहीं है, एंड सो ऑन। रेडियोलॉजिस्ट इसको पढ़ते हैं और फिर वो हमें अपनी रिपोर्ट जनरेट करके देते हैं। अब ये काम AI बहुत इजीली कर सकता है, और हम लोग ये टूल बना रहे हैं रेडियोलॉजी एज अ सर्विस के लिए, जो कि इमेजेस को इंजेस्ट, हमारे रेडियोलॉजी के इमेजेस और वीडियोस को इंजेस्ट करेगा और आपको अनबायस्ड ओपिनियन देगा कि हाँ, इसका साइज ठीक है कि नहीं है, फैटी लीवर है कि नहीं है, लीजन तो नहीं है, एंड सो ऑन। सो दिस इज अनदर एप्लीकेशन ऑफ AI इन मेडिकल फील्ड। डॉक्टर गर्ग शुरुआत में बता रहे थे कि गूगल इसके ऊपर काम कर रहा है। आई को देखेंगे और बताएंगे कि ब्लड, रेटिना कितना फैला हुआ है, नहीं है, एंड उससे आप इंटरप्रिटेशंस निकालेंगे। सो दैट इज वन एप्लीकेशन ऑफ AI, एंड व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग यू इज अनदर एप्लीकेशन ऑफ AI, एंड व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इज के लिवर, किडनी, मतलब एवरी काइंड ऑफ अल्ट्रासाउंड एंड देन एक्सरे, हाँ, और हम इसको अपलोड कर देंगे इंटरनेट के ऊपर, एंड रेडियोलॉजी एज अ सर्विस हम इसको ऑफर करेंगे ताकि आप अपने अल्ट्रासाउंड के इमेजेस या वीडियोस डाल सकें और एक सेकंड ओपिनियन, अनबायस्ड सेकंड ओपिनियन आप ले सके. सो दैट्स अनदर रियल वर्ल्ड एप्लीकेशन ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस हैपनिंग इन इंडिया, हैपनिंग इन नोएडा एज वी स्पीक. तो AI इंपॉर्टेंट है, हमारी लाइफ में आ चुका है, हमारी लाइफ में और ज़्यादा आता ही रहेगा. तो अब इसके बारे में बच्चों को हमें पढ़ाना चाहिए. क्यों पढ़ाना चाहिए? ताकि वो फ्यूचर रेडी हो सकें. वो आज से 8, 10, 12, 14 साल बाद जब बाहर निकल कर आएंगे, AI इज गोइंग टू बी अ इम्पॉर्टेंट आस्पेक्ट ऑफ देयर करियर्स एंड द स्किल्स दैट दे वुड नीड. सो उसकी प्रिपरेशन आपको आज से करनी पड़ेगी. स्कूल में आपको आज से उनको पढ़ाना पड़ेगा, कॉलेजेस में आपको उनको वो कोर्सेज पढ़ाने पड़ेंगे, ताकि आपके बच्चे फ्यूचर रेडी हो सकें. क्योंकि अगर आपके बच्चे फ्यूचर रेडी नहीं होंगे, ऑब्वियसली एडमिशंस और नीचे जाएंगे. So that is why I think AI becomes an important tool. CBSE ने NEP अनाउंस किया 2020 में. उसमें बहुत सारे इलेक्टिव स्किल कोर्सेज ऑफर किए गए हैं, मतलब कुछ तो परमानेंट है, मैम भी बता रहे थे. एंड देन फॉर ग्रेड 6 एंड अबव there is a huge list of skill based courses. I think above 20 courses हैं. AI is also one of them. And CBSE ने अब इसका करिकुलम भी पब्लिश कर दिया है. और एक कैपस्टोन प्रोजेक्ट मैम शायद जिक्र कर रहे थे. इवन दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ द करिकुलम. और ये करिकुलम 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th के लिए ऑलरेडी पब्लिश कर दिया गया है. CBSE की वेबसाइट पे पड़ा हुआ है, आप लोग डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं. फॉर दैट मैटर बुक्स भी अवेलेबल हैं ऑनलाइन. और ये करिकुलम को ये लोग ना रियल टाइम में अपडेट भी कर रहे हैं. माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, इंटेल वगैरह के साथ काम कर रही है CBSE, एंड दे आर अपडेटिंग दिस करिकुलम इन रियल टाइम, दे आर अपडेटिंग दिस बुक्स इन रियल टाइम. एंड जहाँ तक AI का सवाल है, एज आई मेंशन 9, 10th, 11th, 12th के लिए करिकुलम ये लोग ऑलरेडी डिफाइन कर चुके हैं. इट्स अवेलेबल ऑनलाइन. आप लोगों में से जो भी इंटरेस्टेड है वो जाकर देख सकता है और अपने आप को स्किल रेडी कर सकते हैं, ताकि आप अपने स्कूल में आप पढ़ा सकें आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एज अ स्किल कोर्स. मैं ये समझता हूँ कि 20-25 स्किल कोर्सेज अवेलेबल कराए हैं. उसमें प्लम्बिंग भी है, इलेक्ट्रिकल भी है, बहुत कुछ है. आप सब कुछ तो अपने स्कूल्स में ऑफर कर नहीं सकते. और बहुत सारा कुछ आपके स्कूल्स के लिए शायद लॉजिकल भी नहीं होगा. अगर आप प्राइवेट स्कूल हैं तो आपके यहाँ कोई प्लम्बिंग सीखने तो आ नहीं रहा है, तो आप शायद 2 या 3 इलेक्टिव स्किल बेस्ड कोर्सेज ही अपने ऑडियंस को या अपने स्टूडेंट्स को ऑफर करेंगे. मेरा ये मानना है AI उसमें से डेफिनेटली एक होना चाहिए. एंड जहाँ तक प्रिंसिपल्स का सवाल है और जहाँ तक टीचर्स का सवाल है, आप लोगों को अपने आप को रेडी करना चाहिए इस कोर्स के लिए. एंड ऑल द रिसोर्सेज आर अवेलेबल ऑनलाइन. CBSE के रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल है ऑनलाइन. एंड उसके अलावा बहुत सारे इंटरनेट पर तो मतलब देयर इज अ टन्स ऑफ रिसोर्सेज विच इज अवेलेबल ऑनलाइन. तो जहाँ तक कोर्सेज का सवाल है, जस्ट टू गिव यू अ क्विक ब्रीफ समरी, like any other skill course, they have divided into conceptual, what is AI, ethical AI, and so on. Then there are technical aspects, Python में coding है, NLP वगैरह है. And then there is a third, the project aspect of this capstone project, जिसको ये लोग बोलते हैं teamwork, collaboration, and so on. I will not dive into the details क्योंकि ये सब अवेलेबल है. And I will obviously not dive into कि पढ़ाना कैसे है, वो तो आप लोग मुझसे बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे से समझते हैं. So I would recommend please go and take a look at that, and please do introduce AI in your schools. And as teachers, please do work on upgrading your skills so that you can put this in your schools. हमें पता है कि हमारे बच्चे अलग अलग तरीके से पढ़ते हैं. कुछ लोगों को प्रैक्टिकल पढ़ाया जाए, प्रैक्टिकल प्रोजेक्ट्स दिए जाएं तो वो ज़्यादा समझते हैं, कुछ थ्योरी ज़्यादा समझते हैं, कुछ को ऑडियो वीडियो कंटेंट ज़्यादा समझ में आता है, और कुछ लोग कुछ सब्जेक्ट टॉपिक्स में वीक होते हैं, एंड सो ऑन. अब एक तरीका तो है कि आप लोगों को HCL या फिर बाकी सब लोगों ने टूल्स प्रोवाइड किए हैं. आई एम श्योर HCL, इंटेल, ये सब कंपनीज आपके पास आती होंगी और आपको असेसमेंट बेस्ड टूल्स देते होंगे ये लोग कि असेसमेंट, बच्चे से असेसमेंट करवाओ, बच्चे का वीक एरिया पता चलेगा और फिर उसको वो कंटेंट पढ़ाया जाए. मैं आपके सामने ये प्रॉब्लम रख रहा हूँ. आपको पता है कि कंप्यूटर आज की डेट में फेस रिकॉग्नाइज कर सकता है, कंप्यूटर आज की डेट में सेंटीमेंट रिकॉग्नाइज कर सकता है. वो बता सकता है कि मनीष है और मनीष खुश है, दुखी है, फोकस्ड है, नहीं है. आपको पता है कि डेटा को इंजेस्ट किया जा सकता है, आप सेशनल्स ले रहे हैं, आप वीकली टेस्ट ले रहे हैं, मंथली टेस्ट ले रहे हैं, उसके डेटा को डाला जा सकता है। क्या आप मुझे बता सकते हो अगर आपको एक टूल डिजाइन करना हो आपकी असिस्टेंस के लिए, ताकि आपको पता चल सके कि कौन सा बच्चा अटेंटिव है नहीं है, कौन सा बच्चा किस सब्जेक्ट में वीक है नहीं है, जब आप पढ़ा रहे हो तो आप किस तरीके का एआई टूल डिजाइन करोगे? क्या 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 होगा, मतलब वो क्या डेटा कैप्चर कर रहा होगा, कहां से डेटा कैप्चर कर रहा होगा? आप में से कोई इसके ऊपर कुछ गेस करना चाहता है या कुछ टेक लेना चाहता है? नहीं? ओके। आप जो कर सकते हैं, सिंपल चीज तो है कि जो HCL वगैरह ने किया हुआ है टेस्ट 2 एंड उसमें से टॉपिक मूड एनालिसिस, कैमरा लगा हुआ है और वो अब जैसे मान लीजिए मैंने यहां पर कैमरा लगा दिया और वो आप सबके चेहरों को देख रहा है और देख रहा है कि कौन अटेंटिव है, कौन नीचे झुका हुआ है, कौन सुन रहा है नहीं सुन रहा है, अटेंटिवनेस मालूम पड़ गई यहां से। एंड देन आपने उसको इंटीग्रेट कर दिया आपके जो वीकली मंथली टेस्ट हो रहे हैं और उसमें जो स्कोर्स आ रहे हैं उसके साथ। अब कंप्यूटर को पता है अटेंटिव कौन था और उसका स्कोर क्या आया है और किस चीज में क्या स्कोर आया है, एंड इससे आप एक एआई इंजन डिजाइन कर सकते हैं जो कि बताएगा कि अच्छा मनीष ना उस दिन अटेंटिव भी नहीं था और उसके मार्क्स भी खराब आए हैं, मनीष को ना दोबारा से इस चीज को पढ़ने की जरूरत है, ये वाला टॉपिक इसने नहीं ठीक से पढ़ा है। सो आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू सम सॉर्ट ऑफ एग्जांपल्स। मैं तो इंडस्ट्री में हूं, हम लोग टूल्स डिजाइन कर रहे हैं, मैं पूरी तरीके से यकीन करता हूं कि एआई कोई जॉब वॉब टीचर्स का नहीं लेने वाला, क्योंकि जो एम्पैथी है ना, जो ह्यूमन एम्पैथी है, वो ह्यूमन एम्पैथी कंप्यूटर जनरेट कर ही नहीं सकता। मतलब 50 साल तो कम से कम लगेंगे, शायद पहुंच जाए वहां पे, आज नहीं बोल सकते, बट 50 साल तक तो कोई ह्यूमन एम्पैथी कंप्यूटर नहीं जनरेट कर सकता। हाँ, रीजनिंग, लॉजिक, कंटेंट, ये सब कंप्यूटर जनरेट कर सकता है। तो AI is going to be assistant to you. It's going to be a tool that you can use inside your classrooms, and for sure you need to teach your students about AI so that they can be future ready. और आखिर में तो मैं बस यही कहूँगा कि लेट 80s अर्ली 90s में ना लिबरलाइजेशन हुआ, JMIT जैसे कॉलेजेस खुले, नॉर्थ में खूब खुले, कर्नाटका, तमिलनाडु, महाराष्ट्र वगैरह में खूब कॉलेजेस खुले, और हम जैसे इंजीनियर्स इन कॉलेजेस में पढ़े और पढ़कर बाहर आना शुरू हो गए और थोक के भाव में हम लोग सारे के सारे इंजीनियर्स बनना शुरू हो गए। हम में से कुछ लोगों ने बहुत अच्छी अच्छी कंपनीज में नौकरियां की, हम में से कुछ लोगों ने अपनी कंपनी स्टार्ट की, जॉब्स दी, करोड़ों रुपया टैक्स दिया सरकार को, इंडिया को IT सुपर पावर बना दिया। शुरुआत कहां से हुई? IIT तो 3 या 4 ही थे, मैं तो IIT से हूं नहीं, मैं तो JMIT से हूं। उसके बावजूद 300-400 लोगों की कम नौकरियां लगा चुका हूं, 400-500 लोगों की और लगाऊंगा, और जो इकोसिस्टम है वो अलग बात है। एंड आई एम नॉट अलोन, मेरे जैसे सर ने बताया 50 एग्जाम्पल और JMIT से हैं। तो कई बारी ना हर रोज की भाग दौड़ में ना एडमिशन हो रहे हैं, नहीं हो रहे हैं, बच्चों ने कुछ बोल दिया है, आप लोगों को पता नहीं चलता है कि देश की सेवा कर रहे हैं आप लोग। ये देश की सेवा की है JMIT ने और JMIT जैसे इंस्टीट्यूट्स ने, जो 90s में शुरू हुए, जिन्होंने इंडिया को IT सुपर पावर बनने में मदद की। तो देश की सेवा सिर्फ जवान या इसरो के साइंटिस्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप लोग भी कर रहे हो, और आपने की है IT सुपर पावर बनाने में। यही मौका अब आपके पास दोबारा है AI सुपर पावर बनाने के लिए, क्योंकि जो आप आज AI देख रहे हो ये अभी शुरुआत है, ये अगले 10-15 सालों में खूब बड़ा बवाल बनने वाला है, एंड यू कैन पार्टिसिपेट इन दैट प्रोग्रेस। सो माय हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑल ऑफ यू टू डिवोट मोर टाइम। आपके चाहे इंटरनल सेशंस आपको टीचर्स के लिए करने पड़े, आई विल बी मोर देन हैप्पी टू सेंड सम ऑफ आवर पीपल, अगर आपको जरूरत महसूस होती है जो कि AI के ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं। इफ यू वांट, आई विल बी मोर देन हैप्पी टू सेंड सम ऑफ आवर इंजीनियर्स जो कि आपको प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट्स बता सके। आप लोग दिल्ली आना चाहें, यू आर ऑब्वियसली ऑलवेज वेलकम इन आवर ऑफिस एंड सो ऑन। सो प्लीज, जो आप लोगों ने 90s में किया या करते आए हैं, वो अपॉर्चुनिटी आज स्कूल्स और कॉलेजेस के पास दोबारा है, ताकि हम अपना AI सुपर पावर एज एमर्ज कर सके।
Thank you, sir. It was nothing short of an incredibly informative and interesting session. Now, I would like to request worthy Director, sir, Dr. S.K. Garg, to kindly come on stage and acknowledge Mr. Manish Gupta. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. May I now invite Ms. Raminder Kaur, HOD English MLPS on the stage, and topic of our discussion today is gamification in learning. Let us watch the AV first.
It's okay, I need my... A very good afternoon. Respected ma'am, Mrs. Batla, Director, Mukan Institutions, our mentor, our guide. Respected principals and directors from various institutes. It's a privilege and honor to be the part of such eminent platform. I'm very, very thankful to all the speakers who have been here before me because they have made my task very easy. I'm sharing this platform with array of academic, intellectual nebula. I, being a very, very average student in school, I'm not a very learned person, and was given a topic to speak about something related to NEP 2020 pedagogy. To present it in front of such intellectual minds, I was really confused and a bit worried. Thanks to Ma'am Mansi, Ma'am Anika Kumar, Mr. Manish Gupta, and a special thank to Dr. Sanjeev Garg for making the task really, really easier for me. Dear friends, NEP 2020 emphasizes basically on pedagogy. And of course, it has to be experiential. I'm sure maximum of schools nowadays are focusing on experiential learning. Apart from experiential learning, NEP focuses on one very important aspect. That was the topic of Ma'am Anika Kumar's talk today. And that is making learning easier and fun. Why? Because we are more worried about our future generation, the future policy makers whose mental health and mental well-being is really, really important for us. Before I delve deep into how we can do it and give you a small idea of what I could think of, let me ask you all a very, very easy and important question. Whenever we have bought toys or games for our children, no matter what age, for how long those toys and those games have captivated their attention? 1 hour, somebody said? Till the interest lies, and that interest could be 1 hour to 1 day 1 week, maximum 1 month. Right? Am I correct? Thank you. Then the next question that arises is, what is more fascinating to them apart from those toys and games? I'm not talking about the gadgets. The enjoyment, pleasure, I'm talking about materialistic things, ma'am. Would they grab or take apart from the toys and games and not especially gadgets? As soon as you pick up a child who is 2 months, 3 months, 6 months old, he quickly grabs your spectacles. The same way, anything they can get off everyday object, your hairpin, your plate, your bowl, your pen, or anything becomes their toy. What could be the reason? The reason could be the novelty of the thing, or maybe we do not allow them access to those things, although we ourselves are using it frequently. And that, my dear friends, arouses their curiosity, arouses their desire of knowing that thing. And what happens? They want to grab it. This concept of converting all the daily usage things into game was studied by a number of intellectual people like you. And they started studying it, how the children are doing it. We all have observed the peas on the plate, matar ki dane, matar ki sabzi, and that peas on the plate are easily used in the catapult to hit a sibling. The aluminum foil put together and crushed is converted into a ball. And a very famous instrument for gully cricket is the thapi. The instrument your mother uses to wash clothes is transformed easily into a bat. And hence, studying these things, they thought of shaking hands. And the word of gamification shook hands with world of education. Why do you think that students love to gamify everything? Why do they want to play every time with any object they can put their hands on? It is learning while doing, it's hands-on experience, it's fun. They are playing and they don't realize that they are actually learning. So the basic element of game is fun. And why it is fun? Because when we are playing game, the games challenge us. They challenge us to push our boundaries. They challenge us and they give us something to look forward to. And that is, if we go for that challenge, we will be awarded. We will be rewarded. The rewarded could be in the form of points or clearing of a level. And the exhilaration of doing better than your friend if you're playing in group, or exhilaration of doing better than you did the last time. And then sense of motivation that you get, that I could not do it this time, I could not clear that level, I could not do better in this game this time, let me do it next time. Or keeping track of the progress you are making each time you are playing that game, and the sense of achievement when you master that game. And then comes very important part that we have talked about, and that is fun. All these elements together make game really, really important and vital for the students, and that is why they love gamifying everything that they can put hands on. When we talk about gamification in learning, it is nothing but objectification of everyday things into something which can be gamified. That means we are not playing a game. We are doing a normal chore. We are doing a normal task and activity. It could be a classroom teaching thing. It could be working in a kitchen. It could be doing anything. But we are using the game concepts, the game elements in those normal things and trying to bring it to the environment where no game is played. For games, we have to go to a gaming zone, we have to go to a park, we have to have a video game. For gamification, that means it is the application of game design elements into and game principles in no game context. In a nutshell, or in simple terms, game design elements, I just talked about the rewards, the points, the badges, the competition, the collaboration, the achievement, and things like that. And when I talk about game principle, that means how or the norms and the rules and the specification of how that game is being played. No game context means bringing those game elements in an environment where the people have not thought of that the game can be played. And that no game context or gamification can be two ways, either digital or non-digital. With so many technical experts sitting here, I would like to say that today we are going to talk about a number of things where I would not use technology much. Reason being, in a country like India, where maximum schools do not cater to the needs of technological advancement, gamification, if we have to bring it to the classroom, needs to be in such a manner that the teacher can use the resources which are available to her. 1 point. Second is, we have heard parents complaining about the screen time. Do the same thing, but keeping apart the technology. Of course, we have number of wonderful sites where gamification in learning is just a click away, and the students, they know it better than you. So, before I again further explain, my next question is game-based learning and gamification the same thing? Is it? Could anybody help me out explaining the difference between game-based learning and gamification? Okay. Very correct, ma'am. Game-based learning, Mansi ma'am took up one of the games in her session, and that was Minecraft. When we are doing game-based learning, the teacher is concerned only about the game. She's playing the game, she's asking the children to play the game, or the student is playing the game. And after the game, like Minecraft, has been played, then later on she feels and thinks, or the child feels, what I have learned out of it. After playing the game, we relate it to the subject or the lesson or the content. Gamification, on the other hand, is whatever pedagogy you are using, experiential, toy, whatever, you are doing it in the same manner, but providing the game-based elements into your classroom that it could be gamified. I'll come up with examples, a number of it, and then maybe it will be more clear. In game-based learning, because we are playing the games, if you have been playing a number of games online, you would know the points and rewards are done side by side. In gamification, the rewards in the form of performance and grades come later on. Once you have practiced gamifying the things, the concepts, and whatever your concept was, whatever your content was, then it will come up later on. And moving further, again, before I start giving you examples, I would like to say I'm not an expert, but I have brought out certain examples of how we can gamify things in our classroom. The first point of game element I would be taking off is reward, and that is points or rewards. Whatever your subject is, no matter whatever you teach, it can be English, Hindi, physics, chemistry, or any subject. If you want to revise something, if you want to do something, you fix up a target for an individual. For example, if I'm a language teacher and I want the students to come prepared with one of the lessons I've not taught, I've given them certain pages to read. That is my target for day 1. I go back to the class and ask the class how many of the people have read it. I can have rubrics to test who is telling the truth or who is not. I can test them by asking random questions. The person who has done it on first go scores 10 points, and then again the second day the chance is given. The people who come prepared the second day are given 8 points, and so on. The third day 5 points, fourth day 2 points. But You cannot leave them here. On the 5th day, you go back to the person you asked the question the first day. And if he answers that correctly the other day as well, he scores +5, or otherwise you can give him -5. You have taught the chapter in the way you wanted. The only concept is to revise and to get the feedback from the children. You can use this methodology. The other thing that can be done is you can always fix a target, as we have already done, to achieve whatever we have asked for. That target could be day-wise, week-wise, month-wise, or semester-wise, as you go for it. It could be individual, it could be group-wise. For example, if we were talking about a number of things when Anika ma'am was saying that behavioral problems, life skill, humanistic approach, and nowadays we see a number of discipline problems or things like that, we can fix up a target for the class. It can be individual or it can be a group target, and I tell them that till the end of August, from April till August, if this class achieves these many points together, or if this individual achieved these many points together, based on the rubrics that you have completed your task on time, that you were punctual in school, that you did not miss even a single day in school, your attendance was perfect, and if you were never a uniform defaulter, you will be getting so many points. If the child or the class has achieved that target, then we can give him an added advantage in any of the process of your school. One of them could be in the selection of student council, that child can be preferred. And very tempting one, which I've already done with my students, is flip one question in internal exam. You tell the child that one of the question from the exam of his choice can be flipped. That question can be of 1 mark, 5 mark, 10 mark, depending upon the choice. So what he can do is, he will be tempted to do it. But another condition is, once he has flipped the question, he cannot go back to the previous one. And that advantage can be given to only that student who has actually achieved that target. And that sense of competition makes a child go further and has improved the performance of my students in grade 12. Sorry. Now we have seen a number of students going after technology, reels and everything, and we don't like it, the TikTok and reels. So here is a chance to give them the wings to their creativity. We are all doing it, ma'am. Every level, every class, grade 1 to 12, even the kindergarteners. Here what we have done is we have worked upon another policy of NEP 2020, and that is integration of subjects. Give them any object of your choice, or give them anything of your choice, for example, a water bottle. Place it in front of them, and each child, the child of that's class of 40, is free to do anything creative with that bottle. A person who's very good at maths will come back to you and tell you that this is the height of the bottle, this is the weight of the bottle, this is the circumference, and this metal is being made of. The person who's very good at writing a poem can write a poem on it, and the person who's very good at drawing can draw it and come and explain in front of the class what was his perspective of drawing that object. The basic agenda is to promote creativity. As my learned speakers were speaking, that AI will only hamper one thing, the chat GPT, and that would be creativity. If we catch them young, I'm sure once they start doing it on their own, their creativity, no AI will be able to curb them. AI will be only a tool to enhance their creativity and not to curb them. And that is one of the method we can use to enhance the efficiency of AI and not turn it into a monster or a tool that is actually hampering the growth of our children. Because although AI is very useful, being developed by human brains, but this generation has already used his brain to the best and has developed AI. What about the next generation who will be only and only dependent on AI? Will their creativity and intelligence level be same? As teachers, we need to work upon that. And when the child has done it, We need to actually give him the badge according to it. He can be a creative content writer, melodious singer, great mathematician, great scientist, the best artist, the best tea logger, the true environmentalist, or upcoming writer or poet, depending upon how he has used that object to its creativity. Moving further, we have already discussed this. Moving further, now again bringing games to your classroom. We have been doing role play from a long period of time, and we have been creating the characters from our chapters or imaginative characters. But your children love to play games online, and they have a number of avatars, number of characters they actually worship. So bring those characters in the classroom, divide the classroom into two parts where both the avatars can compete for whatever target you have set them for. And then they will come up with why their avatar is better, and this is the performance they have shown. You can always create a leaderboard to keep the track of the progress the class is making. I have taken a very simple example here, but we can use it to the level of grade 12 or college student as well. To develop basic skills was taken up by Ma'am Shashi Batla, and the first point she took up was communication. Our children lack in communication, not because they cannot communicate, maybe because they lack in vocabulary. So let's start it by celebrating a simple alphabet day. It can be a vocabulary day. We can raise the level as the grade raises. For example, if I want them to know 10 different words of saying how to thank people, it can be gratitude, it can be acknowledging, it can be thank you, it can be grateful. If I want to know them 10 words, I can celebrate a vocabulary day instead of this. Here it is for kindergarteners. When we teach them A, the automatic response is A for apple, right? We also say it, our children also say it, our elders used to say the same. So why not convert your class into A, and for whole of the week, the child has a batch here of the word he had thought of or he had taken help from his parents, and he can be apricot, alligator, astronaut, and what not. The number of examples are written here, and he can wear that badge and make sure that for whole of the week the child is referred with that name only. I'm not Raminder, I'm avocado, and Monica ma'am is not Monica ma'am, she's alligator, so she calls me avocado and I call her, hey alligator, how are you? So that way, even in kindergarten, 30 students learn 30 new words each day, each week. Now for senior classes, we all have played, must have played, the game Temple Run. Do you remember it? There was a boy running madly. I am very bad at video games, I cannot explain it to you, but we remember Temple Run. So whatever has been taught in the class can be tested with teaching of new knowledge. I have taken up a topic of bio here. Imagine you have already taught nutrition, the topic nutrition of grade 9 and 10. What is nutrition, what kind of different types of nutrition are there, and so on. But now you want to teach them alimentary canal, the process of digestive system. I have to introduce alimentary canal and the 12 parts in a manner that the child remembers everything from 1 to 12. So what I do is I create a game. I have this picture here marked 1 to 12. Before the teacher can tell you what comes at number 1, you have to clear 2 questions or a level. And the first question could be, what is nutrition? The child can answer, the process of obtaining food or necessary elements to sustain my life is nutrition. Very correct. What is the second question? What is the need for nutrition? The need for nutrition, other child can answer. You have cleared the first level of alimentary canal, and that is the mouth. So you have entered the mouth now. And the second level can be another 2 questions. Name different modes of nutrition. What are different modes of nutrition? Autotrophs, heterotrophs, saprophytic and parasitic, right? And we all know the definition because autotroph means organism, those who make their own food. Heterotrophs are who depend on others for food, and saprophytic are who feed on dead animals, and parasitic are who live on other organisms. So we all know it, so the teacher can ask, name different modes of nutrition. Once a child has answered, she can move on to the second question and ask any one of those nutrition modes to be defined, and that if answered correctly by the students, she can move on to the next thing, and the second element in alimentary canal is the teeth, and so on. You can gamify. Sir and the other people, Manish sir, were talking about AI. You are AI, sir. You created it. So you are the artificial intelligence you are providing artificial intelligence to computer. Identify 2 to 4 students of your class who are really good and skilled in your subject or on that topic. Then conduct the quiz in your class as you usually do. Only those 4 participants are divided in 2 groups. One caters to the need of group A and the other caters to the need of group 2. AI1, AI2. So all the groups answer their own questions, but once they are stuck, they go back to their AI, take the answer and come back with one condition. The more they use AI, the more marks are deducted. Music is something we all love, and if it comes into my chemistry class, will it become more interesting? Will it? So we all cannot be singers, we all cannot be dancers, but being facilitators, we need to do certain dramatic things in our class to make it more interesting. So my class is not sleeping. One of them could be this rap song. I'm not very good at it, but I'll try. So one of the child can beat the table and the teacher or the children can actually create it and sing it. There's hydrogen and helium, then lithium and beryllium, boron, carbon everywhere, nitrogen all through the air, and blah, 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 blah. They're available on YouTube. It is available for the preamble as well, and SST can be taught in a musical manner where everybody sing, "We the people of India." Otherwise, remember class 5 or 6 when you had hard time telling students what your preamble is, what it means, and to make them learn. This is the simplified manner of learning it, and trust me, they enjoy it a lot. We can always take it to kindergarten section or the primary section to teach them basic skills. Number of teachers complain. Roll number नहीं लिखते हैं paper पर, section नहीं लिखते हैं. So the teacher can do this. We all got our paper. The first thing we do is write our name. Write our name. Second thing we do is write our roll number. And once this is done in the musical form, the children are not only writing it, but you are also ensuring that you get all the paper with the correct information you wanted. We all have math labs in our school, and we use dice to do a number of mathematical calculations. But dice is the magical instrument, ma'am, and we can use it in languages, in SST, and in number of other subjects. This is a map, again marked here. I have used only 6 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can collaborate a number of dice to get the desired number of numbers you have written here, 24, 26, 27. The child is asked to throw the dice. The number he gets, he has to fill it here. Number 1 is, if you can see it there, number 1 is Assam or Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh, yes. And so on. If it is in language, I have taught the story Hindi or English or Punjabi or Sanskrit, and then in front of the dice I've written certain points. If he gets number 2, he has to explain the character he liked the most. If he gets number 6, he has to explain or enact or change the story ending or change the beginning of the story, or he has to come on the stage and enact the same mannerisms his character in the play were showing. Again, gamifying the most dreaded subject, and that is mathematics. I have 2 activities. I'll only conduct one. One is, maybe you are doing, draw the number line here. You all know number line. You are better in maths than I am. I'm very poor at maths. I can do 2 plus 2 equals to 5 as well. So kindly correct me if I'm wrong. So I draw the number line from here to here. One side there are positives and the other side there are negatives. Two students from the class can hop like frogs on the numbers you tell them, and once they reach the target, you can ask them what is the answer. So they will give you the answer, addition or subtraction, whatever is done, and they will be little frogs, very intelligent doing it. And the other one is you can bring the daily usage things like calendar to the classroom and teach a few things that you want to teach them. One of my colleague has done it successfully, and therefore I bring it in front of you. This is the calendar of August, ma'am, and we can teach a number of number patterns from it. If you can see it here, hold it for me for 5 minutes. If you can see it here, am I audible there? Am I audible? Thank you so much. If you can see this calendar here, 1, 8, 15, 22 and 29, right? How many numbers are given in one row? 5. What is the middle number? 15, right? 15 into 2 equals to 30, right? Here 29 plus 1 is 30. 22 and 8 is 30. And if I say what 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 15 into 5 equals to 75. The total of 1, 8, 15, 22 and 29 will be 75, and it can be applied to any of these numbers. You can always tell them that this middle number is the average of whatever total you are getting from here. 29, 1, 30, the average is 15. 22 and 8, average is 15, and then you can always add up like this. If you convert it into a grid like this, sir, just 2 grid, 11 and 3 is 14, 10 and 4 is 14. Increase this grid into a 3, 1, 19 and 3 is 22, 17 and 5 is 22, 18 and 4 is 22, 10 and 12 is 22, and the average of 22 is 11. So there are a number of tricks which you can bring to your classroom. There are a number of tricks that you can bring to your classroom to gamify the things. Next, please. Again, a very simple game that can be played in the can be used to actually revise the concept whatever is being done in the class is spreading my horizons. What you need to do is you have to just draw certain lines 2 inch apart from each other, because we have got young students. This is a partner game. The two partners come, stand here just at the beginning of the line, and it is time oriented game. So you give them 10 seconds, 20 seconds to answer the question. Same question being asked to both of them. The one person who answers correctly stays on the starting line. The one who is unable to answer or has given the wrong answer spreads his leg and moves at the second one. First staying at the starting point, second going here. Again the second question, maybe this child again answers wrong or is unable to answer. This leg moves further and further and further till the time he doesn't fall down. Same way, if you don't want this to happen, then bring the hurdles in the class. Simple hurdles, ask them to jump. The person who is actually not answering properly has to jump, and then the height of the hurdle can be increased till the point he is unable to jump it out. Again, calendar I've already explained. Kindly bring hula hoop to the class to teach physics, or if you do not have hula hoop, take a water pipe and start rotating it like this. And we are teaching them centrifugal force, the force which moves from center to outwards, and how it can be remembered by a person like me who's a very average student is when you rotate the water moves outside, so that the center to outerwards is centrifugal force. And then is balancing the equation. I had a very good chemistry teacher, I think she has left. If it was simply A plus B equals to 3AB, do not write it on the board. Give the tags to your students, A to number of them, B to number of them, and then write the answer 3AB. Ask them to balance us. The person who has A will catch 2 A's and bring it for himself. The person who has B will catch 2 people with B and bring it himself, and he's learning how to balance equation in a very fun method. pause and predict is a very, very tried and tested formula, and you can always go back to Mr. Bean. He is the god of pause and predict. You just take any video and show it, pause it at a very crucial point, become Ekta Kapoor, and pause it and ask the children what will happen next. They'll try to predict it, and then you can always move further. You can use it to enhance their creativity, you can enhance their report writing, and what else? One of them is again coming to my squiggle story. For those who do not understand what is squiggle, squiggle is any curved line. It can be a simple curve, it can be zigzag child, to create any drawing out of that squiggle. Once he had created that drawing, ask him to write the picture composition on that drawing he has made, instead of providing him the picture for the picture composition. You are helping him draw, paint, which he enjoys, and then ask her. Then comes see and report. Ask your students to go out, and it can be used in multiple ways. You ask them to see what is happening around and make a data out of it. How many students per class were outside? What is the average of the class? And then come out and use it in mathematics class, or you can use it in your language classes as well. We have heard about a number of movies which can be used as resources. I would not go into that. There are a number of cartoons that can be brought in the classroom. One of them being the Magic School Bus, where Mrs. Frizzle actually teaches you the science concepts in a very, very beautiful. I said movie as resources, I cannot forget Ekta Kapoor. If you have time, I'd like to show you a small video.
Oh my god, stop, bro, I'm stuck. Can you help me?
You dare challenge me?
Here it comes! Hey, Daddy. Shotgun! Shotgun!
Oh, hell no!
See what not Ekta Kapoor can do. She is the biggest scientist in the world. All the people who are teaching assertion-based question like, can a person fly on a kite? The child will not enjoy that question. Show him the clip and ask him, sir, could you please help me? Why the people could not fly on the kite? Is it possible? Not possible. A layman like me would say it is not possible because the weight of the kite cannot bear the weight of the people. But a scientist would come up and say, yes, you have to maintain the balance, just like in aeroplane, where the people upward force and downward force is balancer, if I'm correct. So it is the way it is done. Bringing a bit of humor and fun in the class, movies as resources. Ending my topic, if we do not bring new technologies, as sir said, in our classroom, what will happen? A short video to make you all laugh. I know I have actually taken a lot of time. Last video.
How are you? My name's Becky.
Yes,
I have a proposal for you.
go ahead.
Are you the demolition man?
Yes,
You're the top boss, yeah?
go ahead. What's the crack?
I want you to help me destroy my school.
You want to blow it up?
Can you blow it up or knock it down?
Whatever you want done.
I'll blow it up, that would be better. Can you make sure that all my teachers are in there when you knock it down?
I don't know if I get away with that now.
I will, nobody likes them. Give me extra homework on a Friday and everything.
Where are you calling from?
From Dublin.
What school in Dublin?
The one that's about to fall down. And how much would it cost to knock it to the ground?
Depends how big it is.
Give me a ballpark finger. Is this a demolition company or a joke factory?
There's a joke factory at the minute, hey.
Listen, are you going to come and knock my school down or what?
I will, Shirley. Can you fax me through a photograph or a site plan or something?
Right, I'll fax you through a plan of the school and my teachers' names.
Yeah, no problem, yeah.
And you just make sure that they're all in the building when you knock it down.
See, if we do not keep pace with technology, a little girl has called up a demolition factory, wants to demolish the school, and on the condition that all the teachers are inside it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your presentation and communication skills are indeed impeccable. The elocution and skill with which you led the audience was simply amazing and impressive. Thank you so much. The next dignitary to honor us with her presence is Miss Vega Sharma, AVP Special Education at School, Chandigarh. And the topic of our discussion today is equity and inclusion in education. Please join us in welcoming her.
Yes, so let's, who are sitting at the back, please come forward and occupy chairs here, quickly, all of you. So as you know in class also, so today's session is about inclusion. So let's include all the backbenchers also. So we label them as backbenchers, so all the backbenchers please come forward, quickly. Quickly, all of you run fast. Yes, yes, otherwise I think they were in dozing off mode. Yes, yes, yes. So what we can do is all of you just come forward. All of you sitting there, please adjust yourself on the tables and we can sit in group of 6 quickly. Quickly, we can manage ourselves in the group of 6. And all the tables, group of 6. Just count yourself. Group of 6, every table, come forward. See, then only we are going to learn inclusion. So it's very easy to preach, but very difficult to do, isn't it? Yes? All of you come forward. Come on the center tables here, quickly. And all the tables to have few blank sheets. Plain sheets. Ma'am, sabhi tables pe kuch sheets rakh do. And rather I want team GNI or T also to join, please. So let's just have some fun, isn't it? Quickly, in group of 6, we can come forward. So inclusion is all about rising above all the prejudices and biases. So whether we are teacher, whether we are principal, whether we are the top scorer, or whether we are mediocre, we all can sit together. Why aren't we sitting here? Quickly, teachers, come forward. So are we in group of 6? All of you just do the self-assessment. Are we in group of 6? How many tables? Sir, you can shift here. Sir, you can also go there. Because one of this, yes. So all of you, see, teachers are so fond of giving instructions, so am I. Yes? So वो teachers तो class में आते हैं, good morning के बाद one after the other, we have instructions to give. So here also we have 5, no? Okay, so ma'am has gone there. Okay, so all of you just have a plain sheet in your hands. All of you have a sheet, show it to me. Up in the air, all of you. We don't have, sir? Pluck a paper from your notepad and have it. Yes, we all have. Arrange some more A4 sheets. Yes. So now as a teacher, I'm going to give all the instructions as we all give. So there are two rules for taking the instructions. So the first rule is that you will close your eyes and then you are going to follow my instructions. That's number one. Number two, that every step I'm going to repeat twice. So that means when I say something 2 times, you have to do it only once. Is that clear to all of you? Where's the energy gone? Say yes. So if I think this question would have been asked to children, the noise would have at least reached gate, isn't it? So are we clear? Yes. Okay, so all of you just close your eyes. All of you close your eyes. Hold sheet in your hands. Hold sheet in your hands. Fold it into half. Fold it into half. Now, tear the top right corner of the sheet. Tear the top right corner of the sheet. Fold it again. Fold it again. And tear the left bottom of the sheet. Tear the left bottom of the sheet. Fold it again. Fold it again. I'll answer your question later, ma'am. And now tear the center of bottom. Now tear the center of the bottom line. Done? All of you done? Yes, so open your eyes. Open your eyes. Can you please show me your output? Can you all show me your output, please? Cameras to click their picture, see the output. Yes, all of you show it. See, मैंने instructions so same दी थी ना सभी को? Why output is this? Did I say something else to? No, the instructions were same. So ma'am has made a mask, yes? So it sounds like a mask as if, you know, ma'am is going to use for gamification. Yes, so let me see some more. Very nice. Very nice. See the different output. Yes? So inclusion is that we have different kind of learners. So why this learning outcome is different? Because there are different learners. So there are some learners like me who were losing on energy. मुझसे बैठा भी नहीं जा रहा था. Right? So I felt empathetic. I thought, भाड़ में जाए presentation. So I'm going to, you know, make everyone, you know, engage in some activity, at least some moment, some laughter. Yes. So another, see, from inclusion point of view, first is that, you know, knowing every learner in class is very important. That is why output is different like this. Yes, so we are teaching children with the same methodology. So we have been hearing since morning about AI. We have been hearing about social emotional learning. We have been hearing about well-being. We have been hearing about gamification. See, everything put together, you know, life of teacher is very difficult. So poor teacher is, you know, juggling with multiple balls together, yes. Sometimes technology, light chali gayi, kaise karu, book se karu, model se karu, so many things, you know, we all have to manage, right? So we have so much of classroom pressure. So there is a joke I always dedicate to teachers. So Manisha ma'am knows it very well. That's my favorite. So a man was running with the cycle and somebody asked him, "Bhaiya, kyun bhag rahe ho?" And the jawab was, "बहुत जल्दी में हूँ." इतनी जल्दी में हूँ कि साइकिल पे चढ़ने का भी टाइम नहीं है. Right? So हमारी भी हालत वैसी हो जाती जब भी कुछ भी नया आता है, and how to implement it, we don't know because it takes time. So if anything new is to be introduced, it takes time. It takes pains, right? All of you just keep your hands on table and clench your fists like this. अपनी मुट्ठी को ऐसे बंद रखेंगे. Table पे रखेंगे. If you don't have table, you can keep it on a book or something. पे रखेंगे, but it has to be on the flat surface. Yes? All of you on the table, yeah, on the book. So I'm going to ask a few questions and you have to answer and raise the finger I ask you to raise, okay? So first is, in NEP, is there provision of inclusion? Seriously? Yes? If yes, raise your index finger. We have to keep it on flat and then raise. Yes? So we are able to raise it easily? Yes? Okay. So next question is there any child in your class who's autistic or with learning disability you know? If yes, raise your middle finger. Keep it on plane and raise it. Ho gaya? Verb in position to raise it? Yes? Without pains. Okay. So my last question is, we know that there are such children with learning disabilities or learning difficulties or maybe differential learning needs, right? So maybe because of some social emotional learning issue or maybe because of some learning disability, are we working on them? Yes, a lot of pains. Yes? It took a lot of pains. Yes, so that is how, you know, the implementation of anything. So we have spoken about a lot of things here. Right? So we spoke about a lot of things. We spoke about AI. So here, you know, during the sessions only we had kind of, you know, tug of war situation. Whether AI or whether experiential. Yes? So that is how, you know, the teacher's life becomes difficult. And inclusion is something, you know, NEP is very seriously spoken about. See, we have different kinds of learners and India is a diverse country. Right? We come from different backgrounds. So हम लोग तो अपने आप को इंडियन भी नहीं बोलते हैं, मैं हरियाणवी, पंजाबी, हम लोग तो वो पंजाबी में भी दुआबा, मालवा, you know, वैसे kind of diversity is there. Yeah? So food changes, everything changes, language changes, dialect changes, right? So we are a diverse country and so are our classrooms. And in a classroom there is another level of diversity. So that diversity is the kind of learners. So there are learners who are very attentive. There are learners who are inattentive, जो class में बैठे-बैठे who are doing daydreaming, right? And they are the ones who are nodding head as if, you know, they are only learning. सब कुछ उन्हें ही समझ में आ रहा है, but actually they are in their own world, right? So there are children who are very aggressive, वो बात-बात पे मारते हैं, right? Some children who cannot sit at one place like me are also there. There are children maybe sight issues. There are children with hearing impairment, right? So different kind of learners are there. See why NEP 2020, the provision or why they're talking about inclusion seriously is that, you know, the types of learners are really changing fast, right? And post-COVID we have seen, you know, children with hyperactivity syndrome increasing more. Right? So if you go back to your own school days or if you look at your in-laws, so if you look at people of my age, right? So my parents or my in-laws would always complain about my kids, you know, तुम लोगों को जहाँ बिठा दो वहीं पे बैठ जाते थे, आजकल के बच्चे तो टिक के ही नहीं बैठते हैं. Right? So this is very commonly heard statement. So why these children don't sit at one place is because of the hyperactivity syndrome. Right? तो हम उस बच्चे को जो बेचारा, you know, who's suffering from ADHD, right? We label that child as शरारती. So being naughty and being hyperactive are two different things we need to understand. We can't just escape by saying that, you know, ये बच्चा शरारती है, कुछ भी है, aggressive है, behavioral issues हैं. But what are we doing for correcting those behaviors? What are we, what measures are we implementing? How are we, you know, even diagnosing what is the exact problem of the child? So like I'll share a scenario with you. So last month only, I went to a school and one of the teacher was sharing कि मेरी class में एक बच्चा हरदम हिलता रहता है ऐसे. So imagine वो bench पे बैठ के हिलेगा तो कितनी noise create होगी. Right, so teachers, this child is very naughty and he creates nonsense in class. So we got his assessment done and we got to know that the child is suffering from OCD. So OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder, right? उस बच्चे को, you know, अंदर से it used to get triggered कि मुझे अब हिलना है, right? That child has no control over, you know, his motors, that he could control that urge. That urge was coming from inside. So wherein we were labeling it as the child is naughty, child is having behavioral issues. So then what we simply did was, after diagnosis, we had put a gym ball at the back of class. So whenever child had urge to do that, child used to go there, move and come back. So no noise happening, right? And there where, other children were also prepared. So again, empathy is very important skill as a teacher, right? For implementing inclusion, right? So then teacher created empathy for that child, that, this child has problem and that is why he is going there. It's not that, teacher is doing some favor and allowing that child to go and sit there. Right? So that kind of pains, we have to take for each and every child in class. So inclusion also means the socially deprived groups. So what are the socially deprived groups? So in India, still in some communities, some part of our country, female children are still not, given that importance. Can be one. Second can be transgenders, or maybe children who come from low socio-economic groups. So maybe under RTE quota, there is a child in your class, right? And children are not treating that child well. Or maybe this child has, a social emotional issues because of studying in that kind of group. Right? So imagine this plight of that child, how that child would be feeling, when other children are resourceful and wherein this child doesn't have. Isn't it? Okay, so let's do another learning by doing. So again, do we have sheets with us? Okay, so again, I'm going to give you some instructions, very simple instructions. A minute, can somebody help me as a time manager? Yes, who will do it? Jaya, you'll do it? Okay, so when I'll tell you to put a timer, put it on, huh? So the first instruction, so again in group of 6 only, then only you can do, or even you can also club together and do it. So what we need to do is, we have some plain sheets with us, maybe 7, 8. Arrange some 7, 8 sheets with you, all of you. We all have, all the groups have? Okay. So what you need to do is, another challenge from inclusion point of view is building synergy in class. So what happens is, एक बच्चा मेरा hyperactive है, एक बच्चा मेरा quick learner है, एक बच्चे को मेरे sight disability है, एक को dysgraphia है, एक को dyslexia है, अब मैं इन सबको कैसे manage करूँ एक साथ? Right? Classroom has to happen most of the times in between the 4 walls of the classroom. Right? So let's just test, how well do we synergize with each other. Yes? So what we need to do is, we need to make a chain. We need to make a chain with these papers in using 2 simple steps. So one, आपको ये भूल जाना है कि आपका एक हाथ है. You are going to use only one hand. Okay? सिर्फ एक ही हाथ use करेंगे. No verbal communication after a minute's time given to you. Right? So you can have leader, you can assign task. Only 2 things will be given to you, sheets and stapler. Chain form करने के लिए आपको ring बनाना पड़ेगा, right? Stapler and paper आपको मिलेंगे, right? और 1 minute का time मिलेगा आपको सिर्फ, अभी don't start doing it, start it when I tell you. Now is the time given to you, a minute's time is given to you to kind of assign roles. कौन क्या करेगा, कौन staple करेगा, कौन tear करेगा, because एक हाथ से तो आप paper tear कर नहीं सकते, right? So who's going to hold it, who's going to tear it? So this is, your time starts now for discussion of roles. कौन group में क्या करेगा, you can discuss quickly. Quickly. Only a minute given to you. Yes, how much time? शीट को फाड़ के आपको रिंग्स बना के चेन बनानी है. तो एक शीट की स्ट्रिप काटेंगे, दूसरी को उसके अंदर से निकाल के स्टेपल करेंगे. Yes, how much? 10 seconds. 15 seconds left. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go. Stop, 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 stop. Stop, stop, stop. You don't have to start doing it now. Only role assignment. Okay. So now is the test of your synergy. Only 3 minutes given to you. No verbal communication. Okay, so I'm going to check your ethics also. हमने बहुत ज्ञान सुना है सुबह से morals and ethics. Okay, so the rule is एक ही हाथ use करेंगे. No verbal, no non-verbal communication. इशारों में भी बात नहीं करेंगे. Is that clear? Yes. So your time starts now. Yeah, 3 minutes. Only 3 minutes given to you. No verbal communication. No non-verbal communication. Na verbal communication होगी ना non-verbal communication होगी. Yes. Ma'am, एक हाथ use करना है. You have to use only one hand. That's the test. एक हाथ use करेंगे. So basically I've taken your ability away from you that you have 2 hands. You are going to use only one hand. Ma'am, इतना tear it, make strips. 2 हाथ नहीं use करेंगे, 2 हाथ नहीं use कर. Team, please help me in checking, you know, how, so very beautifully you are doing. Very nice. एक हाथ. Ma'am, आप पकड़ो, वो फाड़ देंगे. Use only one hand. Teachers, why don't you join here and help them? Stapler here, please. सबके पास स्टेपलर पड़ा है? Okay. Ma'am, ये teachers, you join here. Very nice. One hand. And no communication, as I said. Ma'am, एक हाथ. से इनको, yes, एक के अंदर भी डालना है ना. Very nice. एक ही बनाओ, ज़्यादा बनाओगे तो फिर मुश्किल हो. Let's see who does it best. Yes, ma'am. मैम स्ट्रिप्स को फाड़ के यस सर्कल बनाओ. अब दूसरे यस इसमें फंसा के. वेरी गुड, वेरी नाइस. टाइम स्टिल टाइम इज देयर मैम. टेक मोर शीट्स. ओनली वन हैंड. सो डू यू अंडरस्टैंड? ज्ञान देना कितना मुश्किल है ना. कोलैबोरेशन, एथिक्स, मॉरल्स, rules. Very nice, sir. Quickly, abhi you have time, sir. You have time. Ma'am, sheets nahi hai kya aapke paas? Ma'am, sheets already. They made something else, ma'am. Now they're doing. Okay. 30 seconds go. That's what I'm saying. No, empathy is very easy to say, but very difficult to do. Yes. How much? Ma'am, join it and make it longer, no?
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes. So all the group leaders, please stand up and show your creation. Come out, all of you. So from every group, one group leader, please come out. Come out, sir. Come out. Ma'am, please come out. Come out, one of the teacher from that group. Yes, here. Okay, ma'am is here. Ma'am, please come out. So Garg sir, who is the winner? Please announce. Okay. All of you just show that side. Notice. Children can. Yeah, they all are the winners. So now do you understand जब एक बच्चे को स्टार मिलता है दूसरे को नहीं मिलता है कैसा लगता है? That's what I'm saying, no? Very nice. Okay, so big round of applause for all of you. See, again, teachers, we need to understand. See, it's a very serious matter, though we are learning it in a fun way. See, the biggest irony of our education system is that spirit of dirty competition. The moment I said, you have to, I'm going to see who makes the longest, you know, we were in the dirty race. We forgot all the rules. हमें वो भी भूल गया कि मैंने बोला था वन हैंड, हमें ये भी भूल गया था कि वो सी नॉन वर्बल को तो छोड़ दो, हम तो वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन भी कर रहे थे, isn't it? Right? So again, it's very easy to preach. So again, teachers have to first lead by example. Right? So you have to set that example right in front of children. So empathy is very easy to say, but very difficult to do. So empathizing with that poor kid who is not able to match up to your expectation, right? Because again, teacher has her own pressure of performance. Teacher को तो marks चाहिए end of the day, right? पर वो बच्चा who is not able to keep pace, उसका क्या होगा? Right? For whatever reason. So maybe, you know, मेरा traveling time इतना ज़्यादा है स्कूल का कि जब तक मैं स्कूल पहुँचता हूँ तब तक I get exhausted. Right? Or maybe, you know, आपने जो project work दिया, I have lack of resources at my place that I could not do that project well. My capacity was. Right? So inclusion simply means that we are a diverse country, we have diversity in our classrooms, and we have to include every child. We have to give equal opportunities to every child. So for example, there was a child in one of the government schools, so this child was brilliant, not coming to school regularly from last 3-4 days. 3-4 दिन से आ ही नहीं रहा था. Right? So this teacher was proactive in kind of, you know, thinking that, you know, what can be the reason of that child's not coming to school. So this teacher ended up being at child's place. और टीचर को क्या पता चलता है कि उस बच्चे के पास सिर्फ एक ही स्वेटर है और वो स्वेटर उसका गीला पड़ा है, इसलिए वो बच्चा स्कूल नहीं आ रहा है. So do you think एक स्वेटर, सिर्फ एक स्वेटर can be the reason or should be the reason for child to not to come to school? Do you really believe as teacher, do you really buy it as educationist that this is justifiable? This is not. So again, we were talking about communication. See, teacher and child need to have communication so that child can stand up and share his problem with teacher. And I'm sure we all have common sense to understand whether child is lying, child is genuine, or child is not genuine. Yes? So moving on to teachers. So teachers are the backbone of any country. Yes? So this is what APJ Abdul Kalam says, and we have to, you know, fulfill their aspirations, and we have to bring in those aspirations. So as a big round of applause for JMIT Mukundlal institutions. Why? Because I could see a lot of alumni coming here and presenting. So that speaks a lot about an institution, right? So we the teachers are builders of nation. So I always say, you know, teachers की salary वो नहीं है जो आपके account में आती है. टीचर की सैलरी क्या है वो जो आपको यहाँ पे आज स्टेज पे देखने के लिए मिली. सो आई थिंक व्हेन यू सी योर चिल्ड्रन बिकमिंग समथिंग इज द बिगेस्ट अर्निंग ऑफ अ टीचर, इजंट इट? हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू एग्री विद इट? यस. सो जब वो बच्चा आपके सामने कुछ बन के आता है, आई थिंक आपको फिर वो सैलरी की फिक्र नहीं रहती. तब यू आर so proud of yourself, you're so proud of your children, and this kind of, you know, examples only those teachers can build who are not taking job as job, they take their job as profession. That means which is full of passion. So without passion you are only doing a teacher's job. So again, so this a lot has been spoken throughout the day, that, you know, socially deprived groups, also economically deprived groups, we need to include into our classrooms. So even gender point of view I've already shared. So moving on to the challenges. So what are the challenges? See, her class में, if we say that, you know, 35-40 बच्चे हैं, उनमें से कम 6-7 बच्चे ऐसे हैं जिनको कोई ना कोई लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटी ज़रूर है. right? So maybe, you know, that child is not even hyperactive, or maybe that child is not even autistic, but still there is some, so a lot of children, you know, write B as D and D as B, right? So when they are doing it in print script. So a lot of children suffer from dysgraphia, or they might be suffering from dyscalculia, wherein they are not able to print numbers in their mind. So a lot of children, you know, quickly can, so as ma'am was saying, 2 plus 2 is 5. Yes? So maybe that child is not able to numerologically, you know, identify 2 as number, right? So maybe there is a problem of visual perception, or maybe, you know, numeracy point of view challenges are there. So a lot of issues children have. So current scenario with the schools is, if there are 1,000 students, the students with special needs are 20%. So 1,000 ka 20% kitna hua? 1,000 ka 20%? 200. So 200 in a school. Only 2 persons are identified for special needs, right? So so now CBSE is saying that you need to have some arrangement for these special children, right? So only 2% we have identified. So you go and meet any principal, they would only say a child who is actually extreme case of autism or hyperactive, or maybe with the sight disability or sight issues or hearing impairment. Those only children are counted amongst those special children. So out of these 2, only 10% of the students receive coaching or learning support, right? So again here, why this, you know, even the 10% gets to 2% is because the acceptance is not there. Parents don't accept, and sometimes even teachers just label and move away, right? So we don't accept that there is a problem. When we are not accepting that there is a problem, how would we change? So we'll bring in change. First is that we need to accept. We need to bring in that cultural change that yes, my children have this problem, and we need to correct it to the required way. So special educators, CBSE NEP says that, you know, there is urgent need of adding special educators for certain areas of school education, and especially if we see in the current scenario, at least for learning disabilities, we need some support system. Specialist requirement for including children with the disabilities, the Divyang students, right? So that is why CBSE says that you need to have ramps in your school. CBSE says that, you know, we can provide writers to our students 9th above if child is having any sight issue. Even the question paper can also be in auditory form. So greater synergy will be enabled between course curriculum, and RCI is the Rehabilitation Council of India. So when you hire special educators, those have to be certified by RCI. So inclusive education, what does it mean? So first is that, you know, we need to have a system in place. So where we are working on identification of such children, then we are monitoring their progress. So just by, you know, giving one-time support will not help. It has to be a continuous process. Then we need to make partnerships. So again, as I said, so most of the times what happens is parents don't accept only, right? आप पेरेंट्स को बुला के बोलोगे कि आपके बच्चे को हाइपर एक्टिविटी है या आप कोई मेंटल हेल्थ इशू बोलोगे, दे विल से मेरा बच्चा पागल है क्या? Right? So there is a stigma linked with it, right? So acceptance is not there. So that is why we need to, you know, partner with parents. And also, you know, when you hire a special educator, what happens is they also specialize in a particular stream only. So maybe your special educator only specializes in sight disabilities or hearing disabilities or physical disabilities or maybe social emotional learning disabilities or maybe only learning disabilities. So a learning disability special educator might know methodologies for the other kind of disabilities. So then is the cultural change. So as I said, you know, when I was announcing who can be the winner, the moment I asked Garg sir to announce who is the winner. So I could see a lot of, resilience, resistance, happening here. Why? So this is how, children also react. This is how children also react. So why do children react? Because it is a culture. It is a... Exactly, right? So we need to bring in that cultural change. So empathy will not happen by saying empathy, right? Empathy will happen, or the sense of gratitude we were talking about will happen when we will bring in that cultural change. For example, we was talking about inclusion. So teachers were sitting behind. I called them 10 times to come and sit in front. They had no courage to do that. So this is how, when children who are habitual of sitting at the end, they don't feel comfortable on front seats. And similarly, the children who sit on the front seats are not very comfortable sitting on the, yes. So we need to bring in that cultural change. And for that, teachers have to be the role models. And then we have to support. So you need, because you're not specializing. So first is, see, as a teacher, I don't know who are special children, right? For me, I know simple terminologies like this child is aggressive, this child has diabetes, or maybe this child has some prolonged disease because of that, or maybe this child gets fits of epilepsy. So I only know that much, right? I don't know, I'm not expert of it. Right? How would I get to know? So you need some support. So that is why, CBSE is also doing a lot of works on inclusion. So wherein teachers are made aware of, who are the children to be watched? What can be the symptoms? What are the symptoms to watch in your children? Right? So maybe a child who was joyful otherwise. So there was somebody talking about, we can have artificial intelligence even for mood reading. कि बच्चे का mood कैसा है. So I think we are not in that stage that हम इतना equipment लगा के will do that. But teacher के पास तो I think divine eyes हैं, right? So we can gauge, children's emotions. So a child who was always joyful, और आप पिछले उसे 2-3 दिन से देख रहे हो कि बच्चा is inattentive, तो use your skills and just go and talk to that child and support. So in support, first is awareness has to be created, and I'll share how there are some disabilities which are invisible. So if visible disabilities are hearing impairment, visual, mobility, and Down syndrome. So there is a child who always looks down, lost, inattentive, lost, is something very, very visible. So then can be invisible. There is a learning difficulty. So you all have seen that Tare Zameen ke, right? So this child had learning difficulty, wherein this child used to appear as not an average child, so always, being cursed by everyone, by teachers, parents. So everyone was like, teachers and everyone felt as if it's a will issue. So wherein it was not a will issue, it was a learning disability child was suffering from. So dyslexia can be there, dyscalculia can be there, dysgraphia is there, attention deficit. See, what happens is, nowadays, attention deficit is seen a lot. Right? It's very common. So a lot of reasons, few reasons, like, we are working a lot on machines, right? So when we are playing game, so everything is happening the way I wish to. And everything is happening so fast. Everything is processing so fast. But in classroom, it doesn't happen that way. Right? So the child's attention span has gone very low. Then because of hyperactivity also, what happens is, when, I have a lot of energy inside me, and the energy consumption is low, my mind and body coordination really suffers. They're not working in tune, and that is why also children have attention deficit issues. Then the hyperactivity disorder we have already discussed, behavioral disorders we have already discussed, social emotional disorders. So a lot have been spoken about, social emotional issues. So we all are social and emotional beings. Our children are also social and emotional beings, right? So we behave different in different situations. We behave same in different situations also. Isn't it? So sometimes the same rain looks beautiful. Sometimes everything is same, but then also this rain is not good. Right? So that is why they say the most difficult, machine you can manage so easily. I have remote, I can do it from here. यहाँ से नहीं होगा, वहाँ से हो जाएगा. Right? But managing human resources is the toughest job. And we are not dealing with machines. We are dealing with human beings who are full of emotions. I remember, once my daughter comes and tells me, Mama, ma'am ने मुझे बोला ए लड़की. I said, then what? ए लड़की, then what? Right? So for them, her prestige was taken away. How could, I was called as a ladki. So then I asked her, what happened? So then she says, it was maths class and my friend asked me something. I was just replying back to her and ma'am saw me and ma'am says, a ladki stand up. So I said, Prachi, just, empathize. So again, empathy. So I said, empathize with your teacher. She was teaching maths. She was teaching a concept. A teacher is writing on the board. So that means you also gave importance to what your friend was asking than what your teacher was teaching. So wasn't you at fault? Right? So when, again, communication. So when you listen to, so again, we were discussing somewhere that, parents are not spending time. Right? Parents are not aware of, that imagine if that emotional issue would have been left unaddressed, then what? She would have hatred for her maths teacher always. But when I spoke to her, when I gave her peace of mind, her attitude changed towards her teacher. And imagine the same Merlin ma'am ended up being her favorite teacher. Right? So we need to build that empathy for ourselves also, right? So children also feel teachers को तो कोई काम है ही नहीं, same books बार बार पढ़ाई जाते हैं, right? Life तो हमारी difficult है, हमें हर साल नया पढ़ना पड़ता है, right? So sometimes, even you have to fight for yourself. You have to, create empathy for yourself. What all you do, what kind of pains do you take, right? So that is why communication is. So now comes, what all we can do. So through our support system from SPED at school, we can help you in identifying deficit or learning difficulty. Second will be on occupational assessment. Occupational assessment is, so let's say, for example, there was a child in one of the schools, this child is completely blind and this child was studying in 9th standard. Right? Perfectly fine in academics. So this child was given a writer and so his paper used to be minus diagram questions and was doing pretty well. So he was scoring 85 plus in all the subjects. But his attitude, his behavior was a problem. So imagine a child who was studying in a blind school and now comes to a main school in 9th grade to study with the other children. He had extreme behavioral issues. So for that child, we got the occupational assessment done. So we tried to find out, what is the exact problem. So then we got to know the problem was equation with the parents. So for occupational assessments, we also call parents. Sometimes what happens is that, nowadays, children are hyperactive. Even why? Because, parents takes a lot of steroids, when, mothers are conceiving. Or maybe, you're diabetic, you're taking medicines of some other treatment. So because of that also, so sometimes, while doing occupational assessment, you need to take parents' medical history or the child's medical history also. So we also, we help you with both learning assessment as well as the occupational assessment. We do the capacity building program, so where the awareness is created about learning difficulties, learning deficits. We also offer programs to teachers to do some courses with us, so wherein they like one of the course we offer is principles of inclusion. So what are the basic principles you can read about? So this is not just a course wherein you will come for a session and you will be certified. This is a 6 months course from Missouri University. You will do it, you will complete it, you will be certified, right? So then is alignment with the latest information. So again, we have integrated MI, AI into the system. Speedy labs are there. So a lot of schools, schools ask us to set up a speedy lab also. So wherein we put the devices, the equipments for special children. So whenever, in your timetable it fixes, those children can go to the lab and practice there. So then is performance and prognostic. So what happens is, even if you have a special educator in your school, so what that special educator is doing with those children, you have no clue, right? So you only know that only 10 children are there and they're also working with those 10 children only. So wherein through our management system, you will also get all the reports, quarterly reports will be there, right? You will also get the prognosis. So prognosis is for how long this treatment is going to continue, by when child will be in position to match up to the required standard of the class. So with this, I know a lot of time I have taken. Thank you so very much. Any questions you have related to special education, you can ask me. I am here. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yeah, so ma'am, psychometric tests are very, very commonly done for career assessments, right? So it helps you to gauge, what are your attitude, aptitude, and skills. And then you can finally take a call. So they give you assessment, so the preference 1, preference 2, so that it helps you in picking your. Ma'am, if child is honest in doing that, so I have seen a lot of times it works well. So what happens is, when children are in 8th, 9th, because my daughter is in 9th standard and I got it done for her. So she's pretty confused what to do in life, right? So when it comes to sometimes, she feel like becoming an entrepreneur and then she feels, a lot of risk is there, right? From where I will get the funding, right? Or sometimes, she would say, my Dadu was in army, Nanu was in army, I'll also, go in army, right? So she's so confused. So somewhere, it helps you in giving the direction, what are your skills and attitudes and attributes. Yes, ma'am.
One point about the family background. It is not mentioned. No, ma'am. Actually, most of the challenges that we people are facing is all about we don't know about the family background. Most of the cases what I am seeing today is the divorce cases. तो बच्चा इतना इंटेलिजेंट होके भी हमें बात क्लियर नहीं करता है, परसेंटेज में अप डाउन्स हो रहे हैं, जस्ट बिकॉज हमें पेरेंट्स जो है क्लैरिटी नहीं करते व्हाट्स गोइंग एट आफ्टर द 4 walls of the school.
Where we have a theme called hurt. So imagine what hurts if child is expressing in the notebook and you get to see. So ये सारे के सारे आपको assessment वहाँ से मिल जाती है. मेरे पापा लड़ाई करते हैं, मेरी मम्मी मेरा comparison करती हैं, my grandparents don't treat my parents well, or my parents don't treat my grandparents well. So doing, again, so communication has to be there. So through this theme hurt, we create a platform of interaction. So where children are sharing what are their pains, right? Class में एक बच्चे को leader badge मिलता ही नहीं है. Child is, silently working on it. Child also has never come to teacher. Teacher also has not been in position to gauge that, child is improving, child is trying to work for it, right? So communication is the most important tool for addressing anything related to social emotional issue. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
That we have to
Rank.
categorize them, that children is average, that children is meritorious, or anything like that. But how to push the rest of the baggage that we that okay, fine, I have given somebody first grade or somebody second grade, then what about the rest load, that how to manage them well?
See, grade C पहली बात तो 5th तक तो grade देने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. Why to create that dirty competition? राइट हम लोग वो एक क्लास टेस्ट भी लेते हैं ना, डिक्टेशन टेस्ट भी लेते हैं, उसमें भी समटाइम्स वी अनाउंस किसके 10 आए हैं, किसके 9 आए. डोंट डू दैट. So don't create that unhealthy. Competition should be healthy. See, we need to inculcate in children that child should compete with him or herself. अपनी अब मेरे 8 आए हैं, मुझे नेक्स्ट टाइम 9 लाने हैं, राइट? सो दिस कंपटीशन वो पुअर किड बेचारा क्लास टेस्ट दे के आया है और मार्क्स भी कम आया है. मम्मी वो नहीं पूछेगी कि बेटा कैसे हो, खाना खाया नहीं खाया. हर फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन वुड बी, आज टेस्ट था, मार्क्स कितने आए. चलो बच्चे के पूछा, फेयर इनफ, बट वो मेरे नेबर के बच्चे के कितने आए, वो शर्मा जी के बच्चे के कितने आए, आपको क्या लेना देना. You worry about your own child only, So we should, train our children on competing with their own self. अब वो 50 वाला 90 वाले से जलता रहे, उससे कुछ नहीं होगा. वो 50 से अपने आप 55 पे आए, 60 पे आए, और उसका 50 से 60 पे आना भी उतनी अपलॉड डिजर्व करता है जितना 90 से 95 वाला करता है, राइट? So don't compare apple with orange. Orange has own value, apple has own nutritious value, right? So comparison जितना हो सके हमें कम से कम क्लास में करना चाहिए. Anything else?
Ma'am, I have a question. Ma'am, can we use brain mapping to identify a person or a student with a special need?
Yes, So brain mapping, our program is all about that assessment. Is all
How
about
we can
mapping
use.
brain. Yes. So that is about that only.
Okay, can
So
you
there-
put some insight on
So
this?
for example, ma'am, there is a child who's creative, right? So you would have seen that Tare Zameen ki picture, right? So there are two hemispheres of our brain, left and right? So one of the hemisphere is very creative, another is very good at logic and interpretation and language processing, etc. Right? So there are some children, who learn more by, rote learning, right? So these are the children who are strong at right brain and the left brain are very creative ones, right? अगर आपको ये पता चल जाए कि मेरे इस बच्चे को to your classroom teaching so that this child also learns, right? So for example, for correcting problem of dysgraphia and dyslexia is that you make them play in sand. So what happens is इस बच्चे का left and right का perception ही clear नहीं होता है. अभी भी सी फॉर पर्सन लाइक मी अगर कोई मुझे बोलेगा लेफ्ट टर्न लेना मुझे एक बार सोचना पड़ता है. सो आई हैव केप्ट फॉर्मूला वेरी सिंपल फॉर माई सेल्फ. जिस हाथ से खाना खाते हैं वो राइट होता है, राइट? सो अभी भी मुझे सोचना पड़ता है. कोई इमीडिएटली बोल देना लेफ्ट, देन आई हैव टू tell myself. So basically it's the problem of visual perception, that means, right? So brain mapping really helps. So our assessment at a lot of points uses brain mapping as a tool for giving you output in terms of what is the child's actual problem. Sure, वो इतना pressure है 40 मिनट में सारी सर्कस भी करनी है. Yes, ma'am, I tell you the best brain mapping can be done when they are playing. When they are playing in the playground, because here, class, a lot of, there is compulsive behavior, expected behavior. ऐसे बैठोगे, ऐसे खाओगे. When they are playing, then you can actually gauge them and you will get a lot of feedback from brain mapping point of view from them. Anything else? Yes, ma'am. I'll short of time.
You are in the field of education and you understand and you were able to, generate empathy in the mind of the child. What about the parents who are not that understanding?
Ma'am, again, वहाँ पे था ना support and communication. So you have to have more, communication, conversations on PTM. So what happens is हम लोग PTM पे भी बुला के क्या discuss करते हैं? सर रिजल्ट ही बताते हैं. या तो वो बच्चे को बाहर जाके 2 थप्पड़ पड़ते हैं, या फिर घर जाने से पहले कुछ उसको टॉय वगैरह कुछ as appreciation मिल जाता है. So we are also not discussing anything else. So see, we have, now post-COVID, we have, have made parents habitual of using online tools. So why don't we interact with them on online platforms? Why don't we, like one of the school I saw a very good culture. So what they do is that I did 2 days workshop there in that school. Imagine pura school was managed by PTA and student members only. एक भी लेक्चर ऐसा नहीं था जो स्कूल में नहीं हुआ. सब बच्चों ने किया था. सीनियर चिल्ड्रन वर डूइंग द लेक्चर्स. Mothers, the volunteer mothers, the volunteer parents were managing the entire school. So imagine when parents are seeing how school is working, what kind of pains we are taking, what kind of methodologies we are taking, so a trust builds. So I think आज के time पे जो parent और teacher का जो trust equation है ना, that has gone for a toss and we need to build that. वो जो ये COVID के time पे teacher चोर है, school चोर है, so that kind of culture is not something we come from. Right? So we need to build that, trust in that culture so that, parents can also very transparently see that, how school is working. And there, I always tell children, whenever I do students workshop, that, there are only 2 people in your life, who want you to do better than them. So that is your parents and your teachers only. Right? Your best friend would also want कि marks अच्छे आ जाएं पर मुझसे अच्छे ना आए. Isn't it? So it's only teacher and parents. So that kind of trust we need to inculcate in our parents and students. Anything else? Ma'am, you were asking something and your question got lost. Yes. Exactly. Yes. I think the biggest OCD we all have is holding phone in hand. So see, this is also OCD. ऐसा पता नहीं phone में क्या हो जाएगा which I'm going to miss. So we keep phone near to us as if it's our survival. So बार बार phone देखना is also OCD. सुबह So ma'am, see, acceptance हमें create करनी पड़ेगी. See, parents are nowadays, there are two kind of parents. So one parent, एक जो accept ही नहीं करेगा मेरे बच्चे को कोई problem है. दूसरे problematic parents वो होते हैं जो accept करके give up कर देते हैं. Then they start feeling मुझे इस बच्चे में invest ही नहीं करना है. Right? So for example, this blind child I was talking about, so they are rich parents. Right? So they could afford to send him to Chandigarh. They got him here, so they were giving him everything minus time, right? So there are two kind of parents. So one is जो accept ही नहीं कर रहा है, right? But we teachers have to do that. So when we have a medical assessment in front of you, so even CBSE says that you can get it done from the medical officers of the government hospital also, right? आपने CMO से वो करवा लिया assessment, तब तो मानेंगे, right? So तब मानते हैं तो उसमें भी दो तरह के पेरेंट्स हो गए. एक जिसने मान लिया आखिरकार तो वो आपको सपोर्ट करेगा, जिसने नहीं माना है वो क्या करेगा, या तो उस बच्चे पे इन्वेस्ट करना बंद कर देगा. वो बोलेगा ठीक है यार तू 10th कर उसके बाद देख, राइट? सो वो अवेयरनेस, तो वी ओनली हैव टू टेक दैट ओननेस, and all of a sudden we have seen in last 6-7 years these kind of syndromes are really increasing. Yes, so number of such. Yes. Anything else? I think we had a very, very long day, so I would not like to stretch it. But still, if you have any question on my brochure, I'll leave my email ID. Still, if you want to reach out to me, any question, any concern, you are most welcome. I'll be happy to answer. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for reading the room so perfectly, ma'am, and delivering the lecture that struck just the right chord with the conference attendees. This lecture certainly benefited from your breadth of knowledge and depth of expertise. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to hand over the stage to Dr. Jaya Malhotra for the panel session.
The recently rolled out national education policy has created quite a stir in all sections of society. The concerned government agencies have expressed the opinion that debates on the subject should be taken up by all the sections of stakeholders. So now we are here with a panel of principals and vice principals who have joined us. Few of them could not join, so really sorry on their behalf just because of the weather conditions. I would request 4 of the members to be there who were there on the panel. Please clap for the consenting principals. First, we have Mrs. Manisha Singh with us, Principal, DPS, Jagadri. Then we have Dr. Bindu Sharma, Principal, New Happy School. To be joined by Mrs. Seema Kataria from MLPS, Sarojini Colony, Yamnanagar. Thereafter, I have Mrs. Kanika Gupta. She is Vice Principal, DPS Ambala. One more panelist who has been kind enough to join on the spot. Ma'am, please join the stage with them. Dr. Sumita Thakur, Greenfield Public School, Kurukshetra. She's been very kind to be impromptu join the session. Okay, so a lot of questions were deliberated, a lot of answers were taken up. We created a list of 7 questions with a paucity of time, and definitely most of the questions have already been answered. I'll tell you a brief about them, like integration of vocational subjects, talking about flexibility in curriculum, already taken up, lot has been deliberated. So we are dropping this question from the panel. We already had a discussion about pedagogy and learning environment, so we are not taking up that as well. Overhauling of education, so just we'll take up 3 questions for now. To begin with, my question towards the panel is, we talk about new technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, digital literacy. With regard to these, in keeping in view them, challenges and issues that have arisen from changing curriculum, how do we make sure availability of trained faculty? Because we really have a scarcity of that, right? How do we cater to this problem? Because getting right teachers, right talent, they are the ones who are going to create future of younger generations, right? We talk of demographic dividend being given to India. How do we ensure that India actually can encash that demographic dividend? Your comments, please.
Shall I?
Please, ma'am.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, we are underestimating the potential of our staff members. During COVID, my all teachers, even you people have also gone through with the teaching learning process. We learned a lot in that period. जब टेक्नोलॉजी हमारे पास नई नई आई थी, हमने तब भी बहुत कुछ सीखा है. तो अभी भी हमारे पास एज पर CBSE protocols, we have Diksha portal, Nishtha, and we have various stakeholders help. Likewise, आज हमारे पास इतने अच्छे स्पीकर्स रहे हैं जिन्होंने आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, व्हाट थिंग्स दे कैन गो फॉर द स्कूल्स, तो वी कैन टेक द हेल्प ऑफ ऑल दिस थिंग्स टू मैनेज दिस टाइप ऑफ hustle bustle.
Anyone else would
Yeah,
like to add
I
on
would
this?
like to say, first of all, thank you to JMIT for giving us the opportunity to be here on this panel. The point here is that how do we have the good teachers or capable teachers who are capable enough to take up this tech into the education. As we all know that, as ma'am also mentioned, that during the COVID time, teachers have already proved it, that give them a task, they take it as a challenge and they achieve it, and they have done it. Second important thing is that CBSE is also working in this direction. They have tied up the hands with Microsoft, they have tied up the hands with many other companies performing very good in the field of technology. So the teachers are given the compulsory training sessions, they are being educated, they are preparing the methodologies that how should it be taken up. The teachers are even given the sessions on the programming as well. And I tell you one thing more, the teachers are the warriors. They are the people who are setting up today's India and set up the past India, and they are the people who will be making the future India. So I personally believe that there's not going to be a very tough task for achieving, and teachers will be coming up for this task. Thank you.
I just want to add, when we are talking of national education policy, it's not about that I want it is some teachers to come here and teach coding to my students. I wanted to do something in robotics because we had our science exhibition, and I actually wanted that my students should build drones like something, and they should be trained in that. And I requested Garg sir, HOD of robotics, and he guided my teachers and my students, and we created wonderful softwares and wonderful instruments. And this way that bridging can be done, that gaps can be, can be covered. So that is why we have to integrate with the learning of other schools as well. So we should not shy away from asking for help from our fellow principals, from our colleagues. Thank you.
Very rightly said, ma'am. Yes.
I also want to add something. Yes, we are moving towards digital India, and that is going to be the target of IIT. But the question is, she has asked how. Yes, I think we are the person who can bring change in every aspect, in every part, at every level. So we are the right person. But the question is how? Again, CBSE is doing a great work. They are providing different kind of trainings to the teachers, principals, and the students. But the thing is, what my opinion is, if we are mentally prepared, if we are ready to learn, only then we can make the change. And we teachers, I am saying again, we are teachers. So firstly we have to be true teacher in the learning part. We have to be a learner. Only then we can teach and we can make the learned students. So teacher training is quite required in this part. And I must say, different organizations who are providing different kind of training for the teachers, they are really doing a wonderful job. I must thank this organization, JMIT, who is providing this kind of platform where we can cooperate, where we can collaborate. Thank you.
Thanks, Atan ma'am. Anybody else like to make a... Yes, yes. True. That's really true. They indeed are, ma'am. What I could gather from the whole discussion is that yes, CBSE is doing a lot, government is doing a lot. Why not at Yamuna they can actually help you with, and every school can come forward, this is the onus I'm taking. And why not collaborate together and create maybe this place, a place where NEP flag is the first one to be rolled out, right? So we can find out questions, answers to the questions, discussing it. So my question actually wasn't that how to fulfill this scarcity. The point was how to ensure that we do have the quality what NEP is deciding, right? So as of now, we do have teachers available with us. How to make sure that they do have the requisite skills that are required. So I got my answers in terms of collaboration, integrations, and way forward, whatnot. Thank you very much. The next question I would like to roll out to the panel is, it has talked about confining ourselves to 3 languages, majorly regional language. That is a major concern, I suppose, personally, because we are the ones who take care of placements, PDPs, where we are taking English not as a language, but it is a skill in itself. Making people employable way forward. How do we answer this question that, how do we take up English and make it a viable combination within those 3 languages that has been talked about? So what is your take on this?
What CBSE is talking about in this concern is, they talk about one compulsory language, and if I suppose say from the elementary stage of education, you may say the Bal Vatika, or you may say the play group or kindergarten, maybe like that. So if I talk about from that end to the further to the higher education. So in the elementary stage, the CBSE has laid down clearly that the education is to be imparted in such a manner, in such a language where the child is able to understand, plus creates an interest in the mind of the child, so that child comes happily to this school. It shouldn't be a burden in a very early age of the child to go to this school. That shouldn't be a pressure to the child. Let that happiness prevails. Everybody was talking in different sessions today. We all have heard EQ is very important. No IQ can be achieved until there is a proper blend of EQ with it. So you know, the point here is language. In the junior section, in the elementary, or you can say the formative years of learning, the child should be made well aware of English, but the teaching should be done in such a blended manner so that the regional language, or you may say the language which is much in use in that particular belt or area, that is to be used. So blend, you can say. Then coming up to the primary section, if you talk about, then there the CBSE says the numeracy literacy, that is reading, writing of the languages means command over languages, and numeracy basic concept has to be clearly laid down. So there it comes English and Hindi. They become the compulsory languages. Then coming to the middle section, there the third language concept includes in. Fine. So third language concept includes in means you can have a foreign language if the child's inclination is there to learn a language of the foreign country, or the child can go for the Sanskrit as well. So this is the three language concept which is actually prevailing. But at the same time, CBSE has made it so lenient, so open, so child friendly, so much easy for the child to attain the basic education, that even the child wants, child can make the combination of the languages in which he or she is comfortable with. So you can say with the advent of NEP, everything was there in the education, what the NEP talks about. But NEP 2020 says, need to be more focused, more determined, more child-oriented. Earlier it used to be teacher-oriented education. The teacher used to feel like to teach what the teacher is interested in, coverage of the syllabus and all that. But now it is child-oriented education. Earlier the education was RTE, that is right to education. But now it is with right to education, the quality education. The CBSE, the NEP 2020 is talking about quality education. So this is my say on this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. What I feel is that when we talk of, our father or our elder brothers, English was introduced in class 6th earlier, and they used to study in their own language only. Either it was Hindi or in Punjab, it was Punjabi medium, but they are successful. It is not the language that matters, not the infrastructure that matters, it is the process that matters. How we are going to take those things, how we are going to execute those things, that matters. So I know the students or the children who are just 2-3 years of age, they understand, they speak 3 languages. How? Because the child has one of the parents who is a citizen of US, he speaks in English. Dada Dadi speak in Punjabi, and at home they try to speak in their mother tongue, maybe it is Hindi or any other regional language. The child has not read any rules of the grammar, he has not read any literature, but he understands and he listens and he speaks. This is all about how we implement and how we give opportunities to the students to learn. So, and second thing, national education policy speaks that we have to teach in mother tongue, but it doesn't teach that we have to take away English. There is provision of 3 languages and we can continue teaching English to our students. That is the global language. That is, I must say, in India, if we talk of, it has become unifying language, because India is multicultural country. It is a multilingual country, where people from south, they come to north for their jobs, from north they go to south for their jobs or for any other reasons. So there is only one language that unifies them, that is English. So and national education policy gives this provision that we have to introduce English as the other language. And as ma'am said, that in order to generate happiness and to make the things easy for them, mother tongue is there. So I don't think there should be any challenges. It's all in my mindset, and we are, making it a hype, right? So that is my say on this.
She is very right. There is no big challenge in this. How to implement multilingual formula. Let me give an example. Namaste. Good morning. Good afternoon. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੋ? बढ़िया? सत श्री अकाल. क्या हाल चाल? मैं तो ठीक है.
languages, these help us to connect with other people. So the one thing which I just get from the discussion, let us connect with the students. And this is the motive of languages or different languages, right? So this is the beauty of NEP, that now CBSE has allowed we peoples to officially use this formula. But in reality, I know we use this formula since like many years. Are you agree with me? I am from Himachal. Sometime I use Pahadi also when I was in Himachal. And now I am in Haryana. I don't know Haryanvi, but I have learned few sentences. And now whenever I saw the face of one student or any student in the class, and I find like he is not feeling interest in my lecture, then I use the Haryanvi word. It helps me to connect with them and that particular student. After some time, this is my personal experience also, I taught many students and I made them my favorite. I don't know I am their favorite or not, but yes, many students are my favorite because they have improved by using this technique. So this is really a wonderful thing, that we should use the level of the student. We should use the language in which student is comfortable, because understanding is the motive, not just making someone demotivated in the class. And when it comes to the placement, I had worked in an university also, and we used to conduct the placement drives, and sometime, ma'am, I have seen students who like they felt hesitated and they did not perform good in the interviews, although they were very intelligent and they were skilled enough. So I think language should not be a barrier to assess anyone. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, language should not be the barrier. आप अपने 30-40 साल पहले, मैंने तो अपने दादाजी को देखा है, अपने पेरेंट्स, अपने ताया जी को देखा है, दे आर वेरी गुड ऑफिसर्स. तब तो कोई हिंदी मीडियम, इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल नहीं था. ये तो अभी से ही शुरू हुआ है और अभी से लैंग्वेज की बात शुरू हुई है. तो पहले क्या था, उनकी ग्रामर हमसे भी ज़्यादा अच्छी है, उनकी राइटिंग स्किल्स हमसे भी ज़्यादा अच्छी है. हम इंग्लिश मीडियम के पढ़े हुए भी लिखने में अभी भी 2 पेज ही भर पाएंगे, और वो 2 सेकंड के अंदर इतना सब कुछ. उनकी मेरे पास डायरीज पढ़ी हैं अभी भी. वो कहता था, बिंदु कमेंट सिट हियर, सी मैंने ये लिखा है, आज तू पढ़ इसको. मैं पढ़ती रहती थी. पढ़ने का इतना सब कुछ कैसे लिख देते, इतनी स्ट्रांग वोकैबुलरी थी उनकी. तो ये जस्ट हमारे माइंड का एक फोबिया है कि लैंग्वेज, अगर कोई बच्चा कॉन्फिडेंट है, उसके अच्छी वेल ग्रूम पर्सनालिटी, आई थिंक लैंग्वेज शुड नॉट बी द बैरियर. थैंक यू.
Anybody else who would like to address?
The NEP has come up with a formula of 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4.
True.
What for? In the first 5 years, the first 5, what do we think of? Kindergarten, nursery, LKG, UKG, grade 1, grade 2. Why? Just because right at a very tender age, they want the children to learn something and just take away at home. Because on later stages, what I have seen is many of us, we are, the moment the mathematics class used to start, and we used to sit like as a frozen child in the chair. So this is the only reason. अगर हम लोग मातृभाषा को बहुत अर्ली स्टेजेस पे एजुकेशन में इंक्लूड कर लेंगे, लोकल लोगों को इन्वॉल्व कर लेंगे, क्योंकि हम क्या करते हैं, हम बहुत ज़बरदस्त हायरिंग में बिलीव करते हैं, और इससे क्या हो रहा है कि छोटे बच्चों को जो कि उनकी मातृभाषा में सिखाया जाना चाहिए, दे शुड बी टॉट इन देयर मदर टंग, सो दे इजीली रिलेट विद द थिंग्स एंड द थिंग्स बिकम्स ईजियर. वो बड़े होने पर वो प्रॉब्लम्स आगे पास ऑन नहीं होती. सो आई थिंक येस, ऑफ कोर्स NEP बहुत अच्छा काम कर रही है. उसमें हम लोग सबको, सिर्फ इट शुड नॉट बी इन द पेपर्स ओनली, हम सबको वाकई में, मैंने चीज़ देखी है, हम हिंदुस्तान में बहुत जल्दी चीज़ें इंट्रोड्यूस कर देते हैं और हम तैयार हैं. कर्नाटका वॉज द फर्स्ट स्टेट who came up with the idea of NEP. Karnataka introduced NEP. And few days back I have read in the newspaper, उन्होंने कहा मैं NEP नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मुझे चाहिए ही नहीं NEP. क्यों? शायद कहीं ना कहीं उन्हें लगा होगा कि जो मेरे बच्चों की ज़रूरतें हैं वो मैं पूरी नहीं कर रहा हूँ. बड़े बड़े शब्द, बड़ी बड़ी चीज़ें. तो मैं ये सही में मानती हूँ कि बहुत बढ़िया है. मैम ने भी कहा कि हमारे बड़े बूढ़ों ने कोई अंग्रेजी में तालीम हासिल नहीं की बहुत, लेकिन उनके आज भी ग्रामर के फॉर्मूलाज हमसे कहीं ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग हैं. तो वाकई में ये जो language का integration है, along with English and local language, it is definitely going to solve many problems, definitely.
Hopefully that will be way forward. The other day I was actually looking at an advertisement where a dumb person was addressing the audience. And he said, how many of you know sign language? Nobody said yes. He said, would you answer this question? Everybody waved in. He said, we are practicing non-verbal cues prior to even our verbal communication. So that's it from my side. Thanks for the panel to be such intense and thought-provoking questions were answered. There were just 2 questions we could address. I'm really sorry for that. We have a paucity of time. Over to Prachi ma'am. We'll take now on for the felicitation ceremony.
To do the honors, I would like to invite Dr. S.K. Garg and Dr. Vivek Sharma. First we have Mrs. Manisha Singh, DPS Jagadri. Okay, DPS Yamuna Nagar. Dr. Bindu Sharma, NHPS Yamuna Nagar. Ms. Kanika Gupta, Vice Principal, DPS Ambala. Ms. Kanika Gupta, Vice Principal, DPS Ambala. Ms. Seema Kataria, MLPS Yamuna Nagar. Dr. Sumita Thakur. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Next we have Ms. Vega, AVP SPED at School, Chandigarh. Ms. Raminder Kaur, HOD English, MLPS, Yamuna Nagar. Next we have representatives from Swami Vivekanand Public School, Hudda, Jagadri. New Happy Public School, SD Public School, Jagadri. New Happy Public School, Yamuna Nagar, SD Public School, Jagadri. Mukundlal Public School, Yamuna Nagar. MLN Senior Secondary School, Yamuna Nagar. Government Senior Secondary School, Camp, Yamuna Nagar. Government Senior Secondary School, Camp, Yamuna Nagar. Yes, sir, done. Yes. Thank you so much for the audience. Thank you. Dear audience, we request you to kindly join us for the lunch in the BD hall of the Institute. Thank you. The representative from SD Public School Jagadri kindly grace the stage. SD Public School Jagadri. Next we have Miss Nandita Sethi. Ma'am, please grace the stage. Yes, ma'am. Nandita Sethi, ma'am. Miss Nandita Sethi from Burlington English. सर ने बोला लंच के लिए मैम से पूछ लो मैम से नेशनल एंथम Thank you very much. Thank you. With that, we conclude this event. Thank you for being such a lovely audience. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. We are privileged to have such distinguished personalities among us who have significantly contributed to their respective fields and continue to inspire countless individuals. Looking forward to see you all again. Thank you for your cooperation. Have a great evening. Kindly join us for the lunch in BD Hall of the Institute. Thank you.
a name, with a hunch, with a first step. Get a hold of the right domain and create your site. Grow it with social media and email marketing. Start for free at godaddy.in.